WIVG Tunica, Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome in to Sports 56 Middays as we get you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. It's the Friday, June 4th, 2021 edition of Sports 56 Middays. We're broadcasting live as we do every day from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And I shouldn't say every day. Tuesday, of course, we were on the road at TPC Southwind for the 33rd annual John Bull Bramlett Golf Tournament. Monday, we'll be on the road once again at TPC Southwind for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Golf Classic. But that's Monday. Today's Friday, and we got a lot to get to on the program today. It's a big day for the Grizzlies because they'll be doing their postseason wrap-up interviews with the media happening, of course, while we're on the air, so there's not much we could do about that other than pass along what was said, and that will include Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations and General Manager Zach Kleiman, along with head coach Taylor Jenkins, and selected players. And Zach Kleiman in the news because yesterday his contract was extended. So we will discuss that, the Grizzlies, and more about what they need to do in the offseason. Can they do much in the offseason? Also, the NBA playoffs rolling along. 7 series in the first round have been determined. 7 teams are moving on to the second round. One of them will not be the defending champion LA Lakers. They were bounced last night. We will discuss that. Also, Portland loses after having a huge lead, and Damian Lillard had some interesting things to say after the loss. Also, Joey Magnifico will be joining us today. Just yesterday named the head football coach at his high school alma mater, St. Benedict. The former Memphis Tiger tight end will join us at 11:25. And as we teased yesterday, Hunter Goodman will be joining us at 12:05, the Memphis Tigers All-American catcher. So a big Memphis flair to today's program. Matt Moore will join us before those two guests at 11:05, NBA writer for the Action Network, as we'll take a look at what's happening with the NBA playoffs. We got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Give you a chance to win a terrific prize package. We do it every Friday. And then we'll wrap things up just before 1 o'clock with one final thing. Hand things over to John Harden for Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. That's the game plan for today. You can hit us up on the text line at 901-360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. And during open segments, you could always call into the show. Same number, 360-8255. Good morning, brother. How are you?
I am fantastic. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. Looks like we're going to have a beautiful weekend. I don't know. Life doesn't get much better.
No, I guess for Grizzlies fans, if the Grizzlies were still alive, it would be a little bit better. But obviously, it was a very successful year, and we talked a lot about that yesterday. And today will be the wrap-up as the media will get a chance to talk to Zach Kleiman one day or less than a day after the news came out that he had been given a nice contract extension. And I think well worth it, well deserved. He has done a fantastic job since taking over.
Yeah, this was a mere formality, I think, at this point, with what they have done in this rebuild since he has taken over. They have done a fantastic job, and hopefully they can continue to do that. And certainly he is a guy that I think probably a lot of folks around the league have taken notice of with what he has done, the job he has done, taking over at in such a young age. And a lot of people wondered when they made that move, but it has worked out very well so far for the Grizzlies.
Robert Parra had some things to say about Zach Kleiman and about the Grizzlies, and one of the quotes I thought was interesting. We have confidence in our strategy. So this isn't just what's the term? Willy-nilly? Willy-nilly. This is something that has been...
Yo-nelly?
No. Willy-nilly. This is something that has been put together since Zach took over. And that was the same time that Jason Wexler became president and the front office was shaken up. And since then, the moves seem to be almost all positive moves, beneficial to this organization, especially on the court. And Paris said, we have this confidence in our strategy. So there is a game plan that these guys have put together moving forward. My question to you is, what has been the best move that the Zach Kleiman-led front office has made? And there hasn't been too many bad moves, but what would you say is possibly the worst move?
Well, the best move is getting winning the draft lottery, getting to the 2 spot.
That doesn't count.
No, it's rigged. Everybody knows the draft lottery is rigged,
No.
So they had to convince the NBA to rig it for them to get the number 2 pick.
Can't give you that one.
That's probably the most genius move that they did.
Cannot give you that one.
I don't understand how you don't give it that one. No, I think the best move they made, I would probably either say the Conley trade or the trade that netted them Andre Iguodala, even though he never played here.
Okay. And the flip side?
They've done a masterful job of creating flexibility on the roster, adding draft picks, those types of things, because they have had a plan. That was always the problem with the previous regime, is you never could get an idea if they actually had a plan. Like
right.
It kind of seemed like they were always just going like day by day and like, let's just see what happens. I don't know. Since they have taken over, there was a clear plan in this rebuild of what they were trying to do and how they were going to go about doing it, and they stayed committed to that. Even to some folks, some people would say to a detriment, in that the idea of this data collection and everything else, like thinking that maybe they should have went for it more this year or whatever. But they have a definitive idea of where they are headed and how they are going to get there, and they are not going to really waver from that plan.
What's interesting is this front office, as opposed to the last front office, is more, I guess, closed to the media, tight-lipped, certainly not transparent. And I don't think anyone minds that's a fan of the Grizzlies how it's done, as long as the result on the court is a positive. It doesn't matter that in the last regime, Chris Wallace was a big part of the community. We always hear about that. Coaches and owners, how big a part of the community are they? Well, Chris Wallace was a huge part of the community. He was everywhere. Zach Kleiman, I know nothing about the guy. Nothing. Robert Parra as the owner. We know about him. We never see him because he's never here. But in the long run, it doesn't matter. If he's using his money wisely to benefit this organization, and Zach Kleiman's making the right moves, the right calls, Jason Wexler on the business side as well, but he's the president of it all. They're making all the good moves. It doesn't matter how transparent they are. It doesn't matter that you have somebody that's walking around at the Italian Fest and going to college football games. And I like Chris. I like Chris a lot. But nobody cares except for the bottom line. Wins versus losses. How much improved is an organization? Are they able to go out there and get players to benefit them in the long run? And that's what this front office is doing. Now, there are still some that say they should be more transparent. Parrish should be able to talk to the media, even Zoom meetings and things of that nature. He's never available, ever. We've never had Robert Parra on the show. I've never spoken to Robert Parra. I've never spoken to Zach Kleiman. Now, I could jump into the Zoom meetings, but obviously this is happening right now during our show, actually about 11:45 today. But it doesn't matter, does it?
Well, no, the whole owner thing, I think when there's big decisions made, like when they changed the GM and president and all that stuff, then I think that's when people would like to maybe hear from Robert Parra. But on a day-to-day basis, why do we need to hear from Robert Parra? He has people in place that are running the team for him. They're the ones making all the decisions and things, and he doesn't need to,
right,
on a day-to-day basis, let us know what Robert Parra is thinking or doing. It doesn't matter.
No, but Michael Heisley, who lived in Chicago, would come to a bunch of games, and Parra doesn't. And there are some people that don't like that. They don't like the fact that the owner is an absentee owner as far as being able to see him physically. But he's far from an absentee owner because he is involved in a lot of the decision-making, although he lets Zach Kleiman and Jason Wexler run the show. But in the ultimate big-time decisions, and I'm not talking about going out and getting a $4 million a year free agent. I'm talking about all the big decisions have to run through Parra. So he's not absent in that sense, but he's a guy you don't see. And there's some people that would love to see the owner, that they think maybe because he's out of sight, he's out of mind, and he doesn't care. But that can't be the case. That's a big investment that you've put in, hopefully trying to turn a profit. But he's been committed to Memphis, and we haven't seen any signs, although we've heard the rumblings about the future. It looks like their roots are here in Memphis and will be for some time. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. But again, getting back to the decision-making, Kleiman and company, it seems to have pushed all the right buttons. What would you say is the worst? If Winslow is not re-signed,
yeah, I mean, if
not re-signed, but obviously they pick up the option and he doesn't turn out to be anything, would that be the worst? Right?
Yeah,
it has to be, right?
If they either let him walk or they bring him back, pick up the option, and he doesn't end up being any consequential part of this team, that will certainly end up probably being the worst. I can't really think of any other really bad works or moves that they have made that really haven't worked out. Like pretty much everything they've done has worked out one way or another. So, I would say because you could certainly say that while Iguodala was never going to play here, that was never a possibility. But having when we watched last night, Jay Crowder making 6 3-pointers and helping Phoenix advance on. If you somehow still had Jay Crowder around here, that he could be still very helpful with this team. Right.
And then remember how ballyhooed the Brandon Clark pick was? How great Brandon Clark was? And then this year, especially you leading the way, talking about how bad he was. So if you're going to say that was a great pick and he had one good year and now he's had a bad second year, maybe it wasn't a great pick. You know what I'm saying?
It was a pick worth trying. I mean, it was 21 or whatever.
Absolutely. I still think it's a good pick, but
it's a fine pick. Like we'll see what it turns out. You can't judge any draft pick, I don't think, after 2 years unless the guy bombs and is out of the league. But Brandon Clark, we'll see where it goes. He had a very good rookie year. Second year didn't go so well, so we'll see where it goes. But even if Brandon Clark never really does much more, it's not like that's a disaster or a terrible pick.
Well, yeah, but my point is, look, he's a first-round selection, and it looked like a coup, and it was last year. Wasn't he on the all-rookie team?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second year, and I got more faith in Brandon Clark than you. I don't want to speak for you, but I know what you've said over the course of the year.
I'm not making any judgments about what Brandon Clark's future is. I just said this year he was terrible and he shouldn't be playing. It was just bottom line.
Right.
Like, you're trying to win games in the playoffs. Brandon Clark wasn't the answer because he's been terrible. He really has been bad all year.
Yeah, but if you see a guy that performed the way he did his first year, you think it's in him. It's somewhere in him. They have to do a better job getting it out of him. Point being this, if Brandon Clark, let's say, never got back to what he did his rookie year and fizzled out, then that was a first-round pick. So the pick wouldn't be that great, would it? Because he got one good year out of it.
But it's not. I don't believe, like, if outside of the top 10 picks, I don't believe you can count on any pick being like some guy that's going to be a 10-year veteran for your team.
Fair enough.
If you're picking 21st, there's a lot of guys who pick 21st who don't ever pan out in the NBA.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, okay? It's easy to say everything's great, and then you start to dissect it a little bit, and maybe the moves end up not being as good as what you thought they would be. So now you move forward, and we talked about this a lot yesterday, and this is what is really getting under my skin. And I understand that you are limited right now with resources on what you can do. But if you are not looking, and I know they are, I know they're looking to improve because that's what organizations do. You can't be set and satisfied with making the playoffs and then losing 4-1. And again, who knows if Mitchell played in game 1 if you wouldn't have gotten swept. So you have to find a way to improve. They have too many backup two guards, right? They have too many guys right there. You have to figure that out. You have to sort that out. You have to get shooting help. Look at last night. Just watch the teams that are still alive in the NBA playoffs. Three-point shooter after three-point shooter after three-point shooter. Didn't the Grizzlies have Seth Curry for a little bit? I mean, Seth Curry is killing it right now in the postseason. Other than guys that come out of college or back in the day when you didn't have to go to college like LeBron James, if there's a freak of nature that's right there early in the draft, obviously you're taking that person. Or like a John Morant at number 2, Zion at 1. But once you start to get past those guys, the guys that look like they can't miss, man, if there is a pure shooter out there, I mean a pure shooter out there, I am taking that shooter. Because all it's reminding me now, the NBA game, is you have to have absolute three-point shooters or you have no chance. No chance. And we saw the Grizzlies' improvement at the three-point line this year, but it pales in comparison to what these other teams are all about. So that's an area you have to do something about. So I'm hearing from media and some fans, well, wait till 2022. You've talked about it as well when they'll have more resources. Okay, I understand that. But if you don't pick up, and this is where I'm with Sane, who was just on talking about possibilities, right, if they don't pick up the player option, the team option for Justice Winslow, you're saving $13 million. You'll have 20, 21, 22, somewhere in that neighborhood, $1 million to use this year. Why wait? Why wait? You made the playoffs. You overachieved. You don't want to regress. I mean, if you ran it back pretty much with the same team intact, how do you know you're going to get to the playoffs if you overachieved this past year? So look to improve. Yes, you're probably not going to do anything crazy, but I can guarantee you, because I have faith in Kleiman, that front office will look at all possibilities. They'll look at a trade for Bradley Beal. They'll look at all kinds of things. And they understand, they're not stupid, that they need three-point help. Absolute three-point shooting is a must for this team to go forward and to do damage in the not-too-distant future.
Yeah, it's the way of the NBA game. And yes, I firmly believe that they'll look at all options and see what they can do. But again, they have a plan, and a big part of that plan is the idea of not necessarily next season, but the year after. That's what this whole thing has been directed towards. So I don't think they're going to just completely abandon what their plan has been just because, well, we made the playoffs this year. Now we got to try and do better next year.
Well, that goes back to the statement I mentioned earlier from Robert Parra, right? We have confidence in our strategy. So, no, you don't want to do something crazy to offset what you have done so far to this point to get here. But you can't be, and I'm not suggesting they're satisfied. But you can't be satisfied with just slipping into the playoffs. You know, you had a big win in San Francisco. You don't win that game, you're not in the playoffs, right? They overachieved this year to be in that position to get there and get to the play-in games and win those play-in games and get to the playoffs. But they're a long way from competing for a Western Conference title, and that's the ultimate goal. And yesterday you said it, and I think it irked a couple of people that tweeted, but I completely understood where you were coming from, that maybe they won't win an NBA title in their history. But
probably won't.
But here's the thing. But you can't. How do you sell a fan base, right? I mean, Ja sells himself, so you're in pretty good shape because you have Ja. But in generalizing here, how do you sell a fan base that, we're not going to do much this offseason, but wait till next offseason, but buy your season tickets for this upcoming season because we're a fringe playoff team and we'll probably overachieve again. So it's not a good sell. You have to go out there and try.
It's also not a good sell to just go sign guys to say, look, we made moves this offseason, and then those guys aren't very good.
You don't sign somebody just to sign somebody that you don't think can help. But if there's somebody that you can sign or a trade that you can make, yeah, it excites the fan base. I'm sorry, it does. Recruits excite the fan base. Guys that they're able to pluck out of the transfer portal excite the fan base. Any type of movement excites the fan base because people aren't stupid. if you just sit on your laurels here and stay pat, then they understand where you are. You're a fringe playoff team. And I'm not saying that you brought in, I don't know, name some free agent that's not a great player.
But you act like just if they brought this exact same team back, there's no way they could be better. Like if you have Jaron for the entire year, you can be better. If you're Ja, theoretically, will get better. He's 21 years old. Jaron will get better. He's 21 years old. I mean, like
maybe not.
This team can get better just by coming back.
No, maybe not. There's no guarantees.
But you act like they're again going to sign people just automatically makes you better. Like they're all going to work out perfectly.
If they think there's a player out there, I'm saying.
Well, yes. If they think there's,
then they're going to obviously think they're going to make them better.
But they're not just going to say like, "Oh, running this back is useless."
Again, as a fan, I want to see what they can do to improve on this great year. How do you improve on this year? And just assuming that everybody's going to get better is a bad assumption. I would bet you thought that Brandon Clark, after his first year, would be even better his second year. He was not. So things happen, okay? And if you want to compete, right now, look at the West. Look at what's happening. The door is wide open for Utah. The door is open for Denver. These are new teams, basically, in the mix to win it all. Yeah, yes, they've been playoff teams, but it's interesting. It's fun. It's exciting what's going on in the West. And the Grizzlies have been very competitive with these teams. But what will get them over the hump in the postseason? I have no idea. Would it be some type of deal where they'd bring in a big name, or just bringing in more shooting would certainly help? I don't understand how you can have this team with the way they shoot the ball, while improved, and expect them to be able to face and beat the teams like Utah and Denver and Phoenix and all these teams that just shoot the lights out of the three-pointer. Golden State, and they'll get Klay Thompson back. So I'm tired of hearing just, wait till 2022 offseason. Shut up. Let's see what this front office can do this offseason. They may be able to do something. All right, we'll continue to talk about this as we continue in this hour of the show. If you want to be a part of it, you can call in at 360-8255. Hit us up on the text line at 901-360-8255. We're going to talk about what happened in the NBA playoffs last night. There's one first-round series that remains that's still going, and that's Dallas and the Clippers. They'll play Game 6 tonight. That has been a very unique series. So more NBA talk. We'll continue that with Matt Moore at 11:05 from the Action Network. And then Joey Magnifico, the former Tigers tight end stud, now the head coach of the St. Benedict at Auburndale football team. And then Hunter Goodman at 12:05 will join us, the Tigers All-American catcher. We have 10 in a row, the game show that swept the nation. Lots to get to on the program today. Well, I do want to tell you about one of our terrific sponsors, and that is Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084. That's 901-438-5084. Or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing, all different plans and options to suit your budget. 6, 12, 18 months, same as cash option. Whatever works for you. They will work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket. You need to get that roof taken care of. Pinnacle's part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners and property managers, along with homeowners, they do the homes as well. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. Brandon is a certified shingle installer, so if you need shingles installed, he'll do that for you. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. Quality work at a very reasonable price. Again, locally owned and operated. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon today. Tell him I sent you. 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions. I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Okay, 3 dozen by tomorrow morning. Yep, the roses and
Faraz's flower shop is blooming. To keep up with high demand, he must strengthen his business's roots.
Just 1 second. Faraz's flowers. Hold, please. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to Faraz's.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Hey, I heard that you just got a new car.
Yes, I sure did, and I could not believe how simple it was.
Really? Tell me what happened.
I bought my car at Cars Inc. They are family owned, and the choices of cars were the best I've ever seen. They even said they could price match with anyone and help me with whatever financing I needed.
Wow, it does sound like they know what they are doing.
Their family has been in the car business for over 30 years, and they're excited about being in Memphis.
Where are they?
5095 Cummington Way, and their phone number is 901-623-7180.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I was working part-time in a 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Hour number 1 here on Sports 56 Middays. Last night in the NBA playoffs, the Lakers were eliminated, so the defending champions are out. The defending Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat, they are out. LeBron and company lose 113-100 to the Suns. Suns win the series 4-2. Anthony Davis gave it a try. He lasted 5.5 minutes. You can see he was laboring if you watch that game with the groin injury, and then trying to chase around Devin Booker just was bad news. And he leaves the game, never returns. And LeBron's season is over. LeBron, after the game, boom, right to the locker room. Is LeBron a sore loser?
Somewhat, yeah.
Does it matter that he is?
Some people make a big deal out of it. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't care if a guy hangs around to shake hands or not. It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't really care.
I don't care either. But if they're going to shake hands after it's over, is when I want them to shake hands. I'm not into the old huggy and kissy and all that stuff before a game starts, before a series starts, all that. I'm not. That's the whole Isaiah Thomas. What was it? Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I saw it. I go, what are they doing, man? They should be like cussing at each other. And then afterwards, you want to give each other a hug or a handshake, that is fine. But yeah, LeBron's sort of that way. More people love LeBron than hate LeBron, so I wouldn't call him a completely polarizing figure. But he does rub people the wrong way, especially now. Of course, he's more outspoken, but I don't mind that. LeBron James is still one of the greatest players we ever saw. But you also saw that he needs Anthony Davis in Los Angeles. They worked together great last year and won an NBA title. This year, they are out. And Devin Booker, another one of these great young players in the NBA. Maybe the baton was handed off to him in sort of a symbol of respect after the game. The jersey, I don't know if it was a complete jersey swap, but LeBron had autographs on the jersey to give to Devin Booker. And Devin Booker showed his appreciation for that, but he went for 47, and he was unconscious out there.
Yeah, his last two first quarters in this series were just crazy. 22 last night, 6 of 6 from three-point range in the first quarter. Ends up 15 of 22 for the game from the field. So 47 points and 22 shot attempts. Pretty darn good. Jay Crowder, I mentioned earlier, makes 6 threes. He was really good before he got ejected in the final minute for doing some weird little dance after a Booker dunk, which was actually pretty funny.
It wasn't as good as the Mike Krzyzewski
No,
dance.
It wasn't nearly as awkward either. And then he just went sprinting to the locker room. Like, as soon as they ejected him, Jay Crowder just goes sprinting off the court into the locker room. It's listen, I mean, that you look at that group when Anthony Davis is out, that's awful. Like that team is not good. Like if you're relying on Dennis Schroeder to be really good for you, if you need like Kyle Kuzma to be really good at Alex Caruso, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, that was this was not a real solid Lakers team. Outside of LeBron and Anthony Davis, this team really just wasn't very good.
Schroeder was downright bad in this series. He was downright bad. Kuzma, I just thought would be better. I thought he would be a better shooter, a better all-around player. And then, of course, you had the whole Marcus Gasol, Andre Drummond center situation where Marcus Gasol was thrown into the starting lineup last night as opposed to Drummond, who had been starting. That didn't work out. You got to think that's...
Drummond goes from starting to not playing. Like, literally didn't play a minute.
You got to think Marcus Gasol is done, right? I would imagine that was his last season. I don't know what his contract is. I can't imagine that Marcus Gasol's back with the Lakers, and maybe not back at all.
Yeah, I mean, he was, there was a talk that he was going to go back to Barcelona this year, ends up going to the Lakers. I would think that he's probably done. I mean, last night he started, but he had 7 assists, didn't score a point, only took 1 shot attempt. But yeah, I would think he's probably done in the NBA.
Well, perhaps it could be full circle for him. Going back to Barcelona, Powell played with the Barcelona team, FC Barcelona, this year, and I'm not sure what Powell's goals are to continue playing pro ball, but if he is, he's going to be back with Barcelona, and maybe Mark joins him. I don't know. Maybe there's a team out there that would still want a center like Marcus Gasol. He's had an unbelievable career, but I would think that's it. So the Lakers, they're, again, a healthy Anthony Davis. LeBron's not getting any younger, but next year they'll fill in a couple of spots. They'll get a couple of more pieces, and they'll be back being a completely formidable team in the West, I would think. But the clock's running a little bit on him. At least they already have that one title. But I hope for Davis's sake, who's had so many injuries, that he can stay healthy. Because, he, like you said, the combination of LeBron James and Anthony Davis together, that's a championship team. When they're not together, it's a bad team. Then also last night, Denver and Portland was just crazy. Every three-point shot that was thrown up there seemed to, when I was watching, seemed to go in. And early on, Michael Porter Jr. was nuts. He had, 6 makes in the first quarter?
Yeah, and then he didn't make another one.
No, and I don't know how many. It seemed like, first of all, when they pulled Michael Porter Jr. to give him his rest after the first quarter, or maybe it was before the first quarter ended, I'm not sure exactly when, it seemed like it took them forever to put him back into the game, and he lost his rhythm. And Portland looked great early on. They had a big lead. They were rolling. They're knocking down threes from all over the place. Whoever it was, it didn't matter who it was, whether it was Covington or Simons or Lillard. They're all knocking down threes. And I thought for sure, what I had said earlier this week, that this is going 7. I felt pretty good. I would have doubled down money on that at halftime. And then lo and behold, here comes Denver. Here comes Jokic, who was held scoreless in the first quarter because he got into foul trouble. He still ends up with 36 points, leading the way, and Denver wins by 11 at the Moda Center. That's a great win for Denver to win that series 4-2. And then afterwards, I thought this was very telling. Dame Lillard was asked about this team moving forward. Do they have the pieces to be able to win a championship? And he said, look, we just lost to a team that was missing 2 of their top 3 or 4 players. So basically he said, no, we don't. We don't have this. So Portland, who knows, maybe Terry Stotts could lose his job possibly.
Oh, I think that's a given.
So where do you go from here? And when he was talking about those 2 players, he's talking about Jamal Murray and Will Barton, who are both out. Maybe Barton will come back for the next series for Denver. So that was not a positive statement for Stotts or for that organization. So Portland, could they break up Portland? And what's Damian Lillard's contract situation?
He just signed that extension, was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I mean, listen. The point he makes is exactly right. Like, if we can't win a first-round series against a team without their couple of their best players, why would we? But what are we doing? Like, if your question is, are we good enough? No, obviously we're not. Like, that's rather clear. And if you're Damian Lillard, like, he's at that point where, like, he wants to advance, win titles. Like, he's not here for this isn't like the Grizzlies. This isn't the first years of rebuild. Like, this is like,
he's not here for scoring titles. He's here for NBA titles.
We're in win now mode. Like this, they're trying to win right now. They've been trying to win right now for quite some time, and they haven't been able to do that. So, Lillard is locked up through 2024-25. McCollum's locked up through 2023-24. So they've got to figure out what they want to do, how they can go about doing it, because those guys are, Lillard is making next year. Those 2 guys combined for $74 million.
What do they need, in your opinion? Because obviously they have a ton of 3-point shooting.
I mean, I don't know that McCollum is necessarily the right guy alongside Lillard. They're probably a little too similar in a lot of ways, but I'm not sure exactly what the right thing is to put around Lillard and how to make it work, honestly.
Who has the first pick this year?
We haven't done the draft lottery yet.
That's right. But who had the worst record in the NBA? Who's the odds-on favorite?
It would be. Let me see, because it was.
Houston. Was it Houston?
I don't know. Houston and Cleveland and all those teams.
Detroit. Okay.
Detroit. I can't remember who actually ended up with the exact or with the worst overall.
CJ McCollum's a really, really good player. Would you be willing to trade the 1 to get CJ McCollum and other stuff from Portland?
I would not be giving up Cade Cunningham for anything. Rockets got the best odds. Detroit second. Then Orlando. And then Oklahoma City and Cleveland ended up with the same record.
What do you think McCollum can fetch you on the open market?
With 3 years of over $30 million remaining on a contract. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many teams are going to be. I don't know how teams would view taking on that contract.
All right. Tonight, the Clippers and the Mavericks, the only series, only first-round series still going. And this has been an oddity because the visiting team has won all 5 games. So if that trend continues, the Clippers will win tonight in Dallas and force a Game 7 in Los Angeles. And I was asking yesterday if it's ever happened as far as like a 7-game series with the visiting team always winning. It's never happened. It was, I think, 5. It was a record, 5 straight. So that record can be broken tonight if the Clippers win the game. I think they have a good chance to win the game. It has been a crazy, crazy series. And the winner of this one will take on the Utah Jazz. And the Jazz are just kicking back and relaxing and waiting. And then in the other series, you now have Phoenix and Denver. I think that could be an awfully fun series. Over in the East, already set, Milwaukee and Brooklyn. And you mentioned how you're looking forward to that one, so am I. And the other one, Atlanta and Philadelphia. I think the Sixers can win even with limited Joel Embiid. But I don't want to sell the Hawks short because they were really good in the Knicks series. So that's where we are with the NBA. If the Clippers don't win this series, I think there's still a good chance they can come back and do it. But if they don't win the series and they are eliminated, the Lakers are out, so on and so forth. What do you like? Do you think Utah rolls like they rolled with the Grizzlies, that they're going to be unstoppable defensively by any team, or who would be your pick coming out of the West with the 2 LA teams out if the Clippers do get eliminated?
I think any one of the 3. I really think I wouldn't have any confidence in Dallas winning the West, but I think any one of the other 3 could win the West. I would not be surprised with Denver, Utah, or Phoenix coming out. And Phoenix, again, it's going to still depend a little bit on Chris Paul because he's clearly not healthy. But we'll see how healthy he can kind of get. But I wouldn't be surprised at all with any one of those 3 teams.
All right. We need to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to switch gears. Got some news from the SEC, little golf news as well, college basketball news. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1 FM.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? 5 Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5 Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Like a coin in your mint, I am dented.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Take me to the pilot for control. Take me to the pilot of your soul. Take me to the pilot, lead me to the train.
Yeah, 360-8255. Got a text says if we could get another star or two, we could be champions. Well, yeah, that's but how do you just go get a star if you're the Grizzlies? Like any team can say that. You got to be able to go get those stars. Like they're not just falling out of the sky to you. Like, you got to go find them.
There was a song in the 80s, I think it was, waiting for a star to fall. So apparently stars do fall from the sky. So just
that just says they're waiting for it. That doesn't say it happens.
That's true. They could be waiting a long time.
You can wait forever. And
that's right.
Like it's not easy.
No, it's
not. Especially in Memphis. You don't just go, all right, let's go get that guy.
Well,
we'll be able to get him.
Your point from yesterday, well taken, because you don't see a lot of smaller markets being able to lure in stars. Usually you are lucky in the draft. We illustrated San Antonio's luck in the draft. Portland to get Dame Lillard out of Weber State. Oklahoma City, it didn't work out in the long run. They never won a championship, but they had all those great players in Harden and Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Draft. Grizzlies getting Ja Morant. New Orleans hopes to turn things around with Zion Williamson. It's basically you're either gifted, in the case of Zion Williamson, the number one, or Ja Morant, the number two in that draft, or you're just really good in the front office to be able to make moves through the draft and then be able to keep those players like San Antonio did in figuring out that Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili later in the draft would become really good players, and they had to obviously exceed expectations because they became Hall of Famers.
Yeah, San Antonio did it because they're a great organization that drafted extremely well. Yes, they got lucky to begin with the Tim Duncan thing, but then they were masters at adding pieces late in the draft that ended up completely outplaying where they were drafted.
See, that's why the Grizzlies have had to go after guys and take chances. Take a chance with Chandler Parsons. Obviously, it blew up in their face, but they had to take a chance. When he was signed, there was nobody who was panning that move. The only difference now is the Grizzlies have a legitimate star, and a star that is known now throughout not only the league and the country, but the world, because his wares were put on in the limelight, I should say. They were put on display, is what I'm trying to say, during the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs now, everybody has eyes on you. So for those who did not know how good Ja Morant is, they now know. And there could be players that want to play. And yes, we had the texter that said, yeah, they want to play with Ja, but they want Ja to come and join them. Yeah, that may be the case. But Ja's here in Memphis, and hopefully he's here in Memphis for quite some time. So if a player thinks that they can really improve their chances of making a run and maybe improving their game because you got guys like Ja facilitating and making them better because he's giving them open shots because of what he can do in the lane, then maybe they want to come play with him. So maybe there is the chance that a star could fall. You're going to have to be really, really lucky, but maybe a star could fall in the hands of the Memphis Grizzlies sometime down the road.
Another text is, what is a small market? It's exactly that.
Television market we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's by comparison of the other, there's the NBA cities, the smaller ones. Memphis, New Orleans, Oklahoma City, Milwaukee, San Antonio.
Portland.
I mean, these are the small markets. And generally, and if you look at those teams, you don't see the small markets going out and signing big-time free agents. It just it doesn't happen very often.
Right, and small is relative. Obviously, there are still big cities compared to Dothan. But it's in the NBA or the NFL, in professional sports, they distinguish between large markets and small markets. Memphis has maybe in their ADI, their area of dominant influence, 1 million, 1,000,001, something like that. And you're talking about some of these other cities with 6 million, 7 million, 5 million. That's what we're talking about, the difference between a major city in size and a small market. Not necessarily a small city, but a small market.
We also got a text from Bobby. He says, are you guys having the guy on today to talk about the Belmont? No, because I didn't realize the Belmont was tomorrow.
The Belmont's tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Our boy Jay Pridman.
I literally actually saw something this morning on Twitter about Belmont picks, and I was like, I guess the Belmont's next week. And then I look, I'm like, oh, no, the Belmont's tomorrow.
Maybe you could text Jay during the break, say, listen, apologies, we forgot all about the Belmont. Can you give us your picks so we can go ahead and pass them along to our audience? So maybe we could do that. But I had no idea until you just said it. I haven't seen one commercial for it. I haven't seen anything on Twitter. Where was the post positions? I usually see the draw.
I mean, all of the conversation on horse racing has been about Baffert and the drug sample. So the Belmont itself has kind of just gotten pushed aside.
Wow.
I don't even know. I literally don't know. I couldn't tell you one thing about the Belmont and who's actually running in it or anything. Are Baffert's horses even allowed in the thing? I don't even know.
I'm telling you, I thought it was next Saturday. I apologize. I can't believe it. But again, I have seen nothing. I thought only 2 weeks have gone by, but obviously 3 weeks have gone by. I think it's still 3 weeks, right, between the Preakness and the Belmont. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can get Jay's picks. But yeah, I am stunned that it's tomorrow. So much else that's been on our minds with the Grizzlies and the NBA playoffs. And now we got the college baseball regionals starting today with a bunch of area teams involved. In fact, all the regional SEC teams that we talk about and have guests, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, they're all hosting regionals. So I've been kind of entrenched in that as well.
Matthew says, would Cleveland count on the NBA side as a small market? They're kind of middle of the pack. I mean, they're certainly not one of the big glamour markets, but they're not like the smallest of the small either.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're kind of a middle of the pack type market. It's certainly not a glamorous city by NBA standards where free agents are wanting to go. Obviously, they had a special situation with LeBron being from the area, but yeah, it's not a tiny market, but it's also not a glamour market where like the Miamis of the world where guys want to go because it's of what the city offers.
Yeah, and if the point to bring up Cleveland was LeBron James, obviously LeBron James is going to be able to draw some players to him as opposed to maybe Ja. But I still think Ja can. I do. I'm not closing that door. I still think there could be a really good player that wants to come and play because that's the opportunity to play with Ja Morant, play in Memphis. The money's good. They like the young style of Taylor, the young team rather, and the style of Taylor Jenkins. It's not out of the question. But yeah, Cleveland's one of those. I think you're right, middle of the roads. I don't consider it a major market, nor do I consider it a small market, to be honest with you. Congratulations to Hunter Goodman, who will be with us at 12:05. The postseason accolades continue to roll in. Postseason for the Tigers, obviously. college baseball continues, rolls along with the regionals this weekend, but the Tiger season ended in the American Conference Tournament. But Hunter Goodman has been named second-team All-American by, Collegiate Baseball. So that's the second in 2 days for Hunter Goodman. Second straight year that he has been an All-American, multiple publications, just an incredible career. And again, he'll join us at 12:05. All right, coming up in hour number 2, Matt Moore, NBA writer for the Action Network, will join us. We'll get his thoughts on the future of the Grizzlies and his take on the rest of the NBA playoffs. That's next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend. That's Sheldon at 483-0546 at MemphisRelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
The summer of fun is here now at Mario's Pools. Hi, everybody. This is Dave Woloshin from Mario's Pools on Exeter Road. That beautiful pool, well, it just doesn't happen. So call Mario and his team will be right there to guide you every step of the way if you want to do it yourself, or they'll do it for you. If you need a replacement pool liner, Mario has the best price against all the major competitors, and by the way, the best selection. Call Mario's Pools, easy, 552-3399. That's 552-3399, or just walk in, so easy, in Germantown on Exeter Road. The great thing about Mario is he always takes that extra step. He gets to know you and your pool. He'll do everything he can to make it perfect. Mario's has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. You can check out the reviews on Facebook. Don't be a slave to your pool. Call Mario Pools today, 552-3399.
There's now a faster and easier way to pick up your Corky's Barbecue. Order and pay online, pull into the designated spot, text Corky's to 474747, and we'll bring your order right to your car. No waiting.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Are you considering replacing your heating and air conditioning system this spring? Conway Services and Carrier have teamed up to make now the perfect time with Visa gift cards back from Carrier for up to $1,500 on select Carrier Infinity systems. If you happen to need 2 new systems, that'd be up to $3,000 in Visa cards. Now that'd come in handy. If that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner to help remove dust from your home, a 10-year parts warranty, and a free Nest thermostat. Plus, you know, with Conway Services, we have easy payment plans with systems as low as $139 per month. Now you could do that. And you know, with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the show, 11:02 the time. Hour number 2 here on this Friday, June 4th, 2021 edition of Sports 56 Middays, getting you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Second hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Yesterday, we were talking about this new edition, the USFL. They're going to try to play some football in 2022. And then I saw a story today from Pro Football Talk that, well, there could be some legal ramifications about using that name, USFL. So who knows if it will happen. But that was the story yesterday. So I figured I'd go with a Memphis sports fact involving the Memphis Showboats of the original USFL. They played in 1985 and 86. The league was actually 3 years in length before it was, in duration, I should say, before it was squashed by the National Football League. The Memphis Showboats made the playoffs in 1985. Of course, Reggie White is the big name associated with the Memphis Showboats. He would go on to have a Hall of Fame career in the NFL with the Eagles and Packers. But also on the team, you may or may not know this, future pro wrestler Lex Luger was part of the Memphis Showboats roster. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Elmo. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. Look, if you're trying to find that perfect engagement ring, that's what they do at James Gaddis Jewelers. They do a lot of stuff, but they are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. They've been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners in that same location in East Memphis for over 24 years. It's not the easiest thing to do to pick out that right ring. That's why you have to go to experts. James is a master jeweler, certified appraiser, diamondologist, and graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. They will steer you in the right direction, help you pick out that right rock. They are full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. Whether it's a diamond ring or a watch, bracelet, necklace, any fine gemstone, they have it at James Gaddis Jewelers. They have the experts to help you with the wedding engagement rings, as I just mentioned, plus 2 repair experts. Layaway and financing is available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Elmo. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. When you call them, when you stop by, please tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. Tell them Greg sent you. They will take care of you at James Gaddis Jewelers. We are efforting Matt Moore, who's expected to join us here in just a moment, NBA writer for the Action Network. Joey Magnifico will be joining us at 11:25, the former Memphis Tigers tight end and now the new head football coach at St. Benedict High School. He's only 24, I believe, and now a head coach at his alma mater, his high school alma mater. And then Hunter Goodman, as I mentioned, at 12:05, the Tigers All-American catcher. Will do 10 in a row at 12:30. So the SEC announced yesterday that intra-conference transfers will be immediately eligible. The conference also set dates that athletes must declare for intent to transfer, but that was not an unexpected move, Eli, by the SEC.
Yeah, we knew this was coming. Every other conference is doing this, and we've seen a bunch of guys transferring from one SEC school to the others. So I don't think schools would have been accepting all these transfers if they didn't realize that they were going to have a chance to become immediately eligible.
Yeah, I think the word had gotten out, and they knew what was coming down the pike. Also from college football, Arkansas offensive line coach Brad Davis is expected to become the new offensive line coach at LSU. Yesterday, we had the news about LSU parting ways with their offensive line coach, and the word from head coach Ed Orgeron was, we will do a national search. Apparently, that was a quick search.
Yeah, that is called scouring the nation in a hurry.
And if that is the case, I haven't heard anything official yet, but that was out yesterday. If that is the case, then that means Arkansas will have an opening at offensive line. Of course, Sam Pittman, the head coach, who was on with us not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, is very familiar with the offensive line. But I would imagine they'll still fill that position. So
if only the FBI and others were as good at doing a nationwide search for somebody as what the LSU is. That maybe Ed Orgeron should be working at the FBI.
But it's been an interesting offseason for SEC football teams with offensive line coaches, whether it be Ole Miss or LSU, and now possibly Arkansas looking for a coach as well. From the National Football League, this Tuesday, is the Green Bay Packers mandatory veteran minicamp. And head coach Matt LaFleur says, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will attend. So I was reading this story. I don't know if it was from Pro Football Talk or another site. And they remind us that a couple of years ago, Ezekiel Elliott, mandatory, did not attend the veteran minicamp. And yet when camp opened up, he was rocking and rolling and ready to go. So I don't know if you can look into this any deeper if Aaron Rodgers is a no-show. I would expect him not to show. I'd be surprised if he did show.
Yeah, I think at this point, why would he? If he seems pretty steadfast in his thing. Like, I don't think there's been anything that has changed or any reparations or in the relationship to make it to where he would now just show up and be like, okay, yep, we're good.
Auburn makes it official. They've announced that Jordan-Hare Stadium will be at full capacity and tailgating will be allowed this fall. So I'm not sure if there's too many schools left that haven't announced that yet, at least from this neck of the woods. More NFL news. Kenneth Gainwell, the former Memphis Tiger, has officially signed his rookie deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. So congratulations to Kenneth. He looks good in green. And his teammate, Joey Magnifico, will be joining us in approximately 15 minutes. Yesterday named the new head coach of St. Benedict. And I really thought Joey had a great chance to play some professional football. And Gabe, we were going back and forth yesterday texting each other about the situation with Joey, who had some injuries, but also you think the whole COVID situation hurt him very badly because of out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, and I just think when you look at the NFL and how they evaluate guys, they don't like retreading on the year before. When they have a new group of rookies, they go after that new group of rookies. They don't tend to retread on the last class. So I think that was part of it for him. From everything I heard, he got to do his pro day this year with the new class, and he did a heck of a job, but it's just one of those things that where the NFL moves on very quickly.
This is a bizarre story out of Ohio. The head football coach at an Ohio high school and 6 other coaches have been ousted after a football player said he was forced to eat pork in violation of his religious beliefs for missing a voluntary workout. The Kansas City Board of Education voted unanimously Thursday to not renew the coaching contracts of Canton McKinley head football coach Marcus Watley, 2 of his assistants, and an assistant baseball coach. With the same vote, the board also deemed 3 other assistant football coaches as ineligible for future coaching positions. The district had suspended the coaches last week after the 17-year-old player reported what happened to him on May 24th. A lawyer for the teen player's family has announced plans to sue the school district. The player and his family are members of the Hebrew Israelite religious faith and do not eat pork. Wow. Every time you think you have a bizarre story involving some sort of high school coach, in whatever sport it may be, there always seems to be one that tops the other. What are you thinking here? Like, what is going through your mind? And there's all these other coaches, along with the head coach, that are all on the same page to try to do this.
Yeah, it's the wonderful world out there we live in. There's always something new, some weird new thing that comes up. Matt Moore, by the way, is having some phone issues, and he's trying to get those figured out, and then hopefully he's going to be able to join us. But he's having some problems with his phone not working.
It's happened to all of us.
Technology's great till it doesn't work. Said he can't get his phone unlocked. It won't let him do anything right now. So maybe it's a hostile takeover. Maybe hackers have gotten into his phone. I don't know, but he's having some issues with his phone right now and can't figure out how to get it to work.
I'm blaming it on Connor O'Gara for some reason. I don't know why. I just want to blame that on him. Johnny Manziel with a unique story yesterday. Not unique in what the details are, but just like, where did that come from? I know he was doing a Barstool Sports hit on a podcast, Bussin' with the Boys. But Johnny Manziel, the former Memphis Express star quarterback, says he made somewhat of a decent
backup quarterback.
Well, he played the one game, then got the concussion. He made somewhat of a decent living by selling autographed items during his days at Texas A&M, but that he never took a dollar until after he won the Heisman Trophy in 2012. I'm a little confused about this story here. It's probably a simple explanation, but here we go. Let me read a little bit if you haven't heard this. He said, quote, "We're doing it all sneaky. We don't want to get caught. We're trying to learn from everybody else who's got caught," he said during this interview. "And I may or may not have gone back to this guy's condo and signed probably 10,000 pieces. He gave me $3,000. Manziel said another individual approached him during the autograph signing session and told him he was getting ripped off before offering to connect him with another man who would pay him $30,000. All the stuff will be then. Okay. So the NCAA investigated Manziel before the start of his sophomore season at Texas A&M, but said there was no evidence that the former star quarterback received payment for signing autographs. "I made somewhat of a decent living in college," said Manziel. When asked during the interview what he would say if the NCAA attempted to strip him of his Heisman Trophy, "I never took a dollar until after I won the Heisman." So what is he saying? That first he's saying he made a living, so he never actually had the money in his hand until after he won the Heisman? I'm a little confused.
Well, he wouldn't have been. Johnny Manziel wouldn't have. Nobody would have wanted Johnny Manziel signing stuff until after he was Heisman Trophy winner when he was Johnny Football. Like,
so even as great a quarterback,
like nobody was going to be asking him for autographs.
Even as great as Johnny Manziel was at Texas A&M, putting up those numbers before he actually won the Heisman, you don't think there was somebody that wanted his name, his autograph? You don't think people had the vision that this guy could win the Heisman or is going to be a great NFL quarterback? Let's get him his autograph right now. There had to have been. I don't. Go ahead.
No, they didn't all have the vision that I had after his first game that I called him Johnny Heisman-Zell. But when he wasn't the Heisman, he won the Heisman Trophy as his first year as a player, like as a starter. So they weren't paying $30,000 for Johnny Manziel autographs before he was the Heisman Trophy winner.
ESPN reported in August of 2013 that the NCAA was investigating whether Manziel was paid for signing autographs at several locations, including in South Florida around the BCS title game earlier that year. ESPN reported that a set of autograph dealers claimed that Manziel accepted payments to sign more than 4,000 items, including footballs and photographs, at an event in Connecticut in late January 2013. What I'm saying is the headline is he made a decent living selling autographs at Texas A&M. So it makes it sound like he made money while he was a player.
He did.
But he's saying he didn't take the money until after he won the Heisman Trophy.
Yes. So the year after the Heisman Trophy win.
The year after he won the Heisman Trophy, did he go? What year was that he won the Heisman?
He won the Heisman Trophy his first year as a starter.
2012.
He played quarter. He was a freshman or redshirt freshman or whatever, sophomore. His first year as a starter, he won the Heisman Trophy.
Okay, so then he played 2 more years because you have to play 3 years before.
He played. I don't think he played one more year. I think
he was a redshirt freshman in 2012. So he redshirted in 2012. He played. He won the Heisman in 2012, and then 2013. He finished 5th in Heisman voting.
Okay, my point is this then. He played another year after he won the Heisman, right? And that's where he's making all this money. So what's it matter when he got the money? That's the point of the story is
their point is if they want to try and strip him of the Heisman Trophy. He was not taking money before he won the Heisman Trophy.
But he still took money as a collegiate player.
Okay, and as he said, they could take away whatever bowl they played in that year and whatever all that stuff was, but he didn't take any money before he won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, but he still took money as a collegiate player, even if it was after he won the Heisman Trophy. I don't think they'll do that. But they could still figure out a way to strip him of that if they wanted to. We're not going to go down that road now because the name, image, likeness is coming through. Kids are going to be able to get paid. These young student athletes are going to be able to get paid anyway for signing autographs. So I think the ship has sailed. But I'm telling you, they probably could have found a way if they wanted to. If this was 10, 15 years ago, at the time, knowing this information, that they could have, in this case, it would only be 10 years ago, that they could have stripped him. In any case, I was a little confused what he meant because he was still accepting money as a collegiate player. So basically, he's throwing Texas A&M out there in the shark-infested waters. Like, I don't know what Texas A&M did that season, but obviously they used an ineligible player because the player accepted money. Right? If you want to go by the letter of the law, that Texas A&M season could be voided. It won't be.
And he said, take away my blanking 9-4 season and my Chick-fil-A bowl against Duke. He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care, but he's throwing those guys and that team and that whole, not organization, but obviously, well, maybe pun intended, the university under the bus. But he still took money as a collegiate player. So, obviously he's not a saint. But my gosh, it's just like, hey, take away that whole 14. Well, all those guys that played in that season. You're the one taking the money. Who knows if anybody else got it, but maybe they didn't. And you were the only one, and now you're throwing them under the bus. So I just thought that was kind of bad on his part. France's biggest tennis.
Here's a little newsflash. Johnny Manziel doesn't care.
I know. I'm not saying whether he cares or not. I'm just saying it's why do you have to bring that stuff up now? France's biggest tennis tournament of the year is right around the corner. No, it's happening now. It is the French Open, and FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new users up with a $1,000 risk-free first bet. Just place your first bet on anything using promo code GASMAN, and FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. Tennis is kind of fun, right, to bet, because normally you know that the favorites are taking care of business until obviously the favorites are playing the other favorites later in the tournament, and then it gets a little bit tougher. But Rafael Nadal's got a pretty good track record on the red clay of Roland Garros. Will he win another one? Seems like a pretty good bet. It's easy to use at FanDuel. They always have great promos. It's safe and secure and fast payments. You get paid in as little as 24 hours. Since you have this great risk-free first bet, we're going to give you our top picks. I just told you. Rafa Nadal to win another French Open. That's who I like. Take it or leave it. Plus, on FanDuel, you can bet on tennis and a variety of other ways, head-to-head matchups, prop bets, and much, much more. So get in on the action. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Sign up using promo code GASMAN so they know we sent you. Again, that's promo code GASMAN. You must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Joey Magnifico, one of the great names in sports, is going to join us next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Do you know who I am?
Who are you? I'm Superfly TNT.
Johnny Radio.
Where do you want to be? 1 to 3? Right here with me. Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM, Monday through Friday. This is Sports 56 Happy Hour, your good buddy Johnny Radio.
It's happening again at Family Leisure. Don't miss out again this summer because pools are going fast. Spas in stock now, too, and they're ready for delivery. New 2021 patio furniture, state-of-the-art in stock now, and up to 20% off select sets. Swing into spring with a brand new play gym, professional installation available. The temperature's rising, and so is the service at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun come together.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Cypress View Golf and Recreation in Marion, Arkansas. Cypress View Golf and Recreation is fun for your entire family. Accepting new memberships now. Call about the new intro price, only $199 per month plus tax. Includes unlimited golf, state-of-the-art new workout room, kiddie pool for the kids, Olympic-sized pool for the entire family to enjoy, and a great pub and steak bar. Cypress View Golf and Recreation has a new golf pub with tons of new food items for breakfast and lunch. Choose from Philly steak cheese sandwiches, homemade fresh hand-patted burgers, and Nathan's hot dogs, flatbreads, quesadillas, summer salads, and more. Take advantage of new memberships of unlimited golf, only $199 plus tax. Call Pro Mark today for your new membership at 870-739-6305. Come be a part of a great golf family. Get away from stress at Cypress View, just over the river.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays. Just about halfway home on this Friday edition as we get you set for the sports weekend. I said today's show has a Memphis flair to it. Hunter Goodman, the All-American catcher, will join us at 12:05. And now we're very pleased to be joined by one of the most prolific tight ends in the history of the University of Memphis. In fact, he's the all-time leader in yardage receiving as a tight end. Joey Magnifico was just a tremendous player, and now he's going to take his talents to the coaching sideline as he becomes the head coach of his high school alma mater. It was announced very recently. St. Benedict at Auburndale. Joey Magnifico now moving into the coaching ranks. You can follow him on Twitter at Joey Magnifico1. And Joey joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Or should I say Coach Magnifico. How are you, Joey?
I'm good. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Boy, this just I don't know, for us, it seemed to come out of right field. Maybe this was something in the making for a while, but give us the background and the lowdown and how this went down at your former school as you become the head coach.
Yeah, so it's kind of on the right field of me, too. So this past year and a half, 2 years, I've been training. Obviously, my dream was to go play in the NFL. Obviously, COVID hit, different things hit, didn't happen. So this past year and a half, I've just been working, praying, man, do I want to go the working route or do I want to get back in coaching route? And, I'd be out there thinking about football all day. Like, it doesn't leave my mind. And, man, once I got a call probably about a week ago from St. Benedict asking me to be the head coach, I said, I jumped right on it. I'm excited for it, and that's kind of how we got here now.
So, like, when you were in your playing days, at that point, were you thinking, like, that coaching could end up being your future down the road?
Yeah, so that was always in the back of my head. Football doesn't last forever, but it does if you go the coaching route. And so my mentors, my coaches at Memphis, they really installed in me like a family. And so after getting that feeling, man, it's crazy how I can do that now for younger kids. So I've always been intrigued about coaching.
You're not slowly moving into coaching. You're jumping right in there, 2 feet first, and playing it right on the ground as a head coach. So how do you learn how to be a head coach right off the bat?
So, like I said, I got mentors everywhere around the nation, from Florida State to Memphis. I had 5 different tight end coaches at Memphis, and now I get to call all of them and talk ball with them. But a big mentor that's going to be helping me in this process is Coach Jones. He's at Memphis now. Mm-hmm. He came from the same type of thing at Cordova. And so I just been talking to him and feeling him out, getting his brain. And like I said, I'm a new coach, but I got a lot of backing that will help me out.
What, as far as like putting a staff together and everything else goes, how do you go about that?
So, yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm actually bringing a former Tiger on with me, Kadarian Jones. He's going to come coach receivers. Mm-hmm. Talking to some more other former Tigers. But, yeah, I'm getting that staff together right now, and it should be here by the end of the weekend.
So have you decided on what type of defense and what type of offense you're going to run?
So, yeah, defense I have not, because like I said, I got 2 or 3 defensive coordinators right now I'm talking to, just trying to pick their brain and see what the best fit for this program would be. Offense, that's my specialty now, going from Memphis. I love offense side of the ball, so I'm definitely going to bring some Memphis aspects to it and use the personnel I have, and really we'll see when the season comes.
You going to go with like 4 tight ends?
Yeah. I would if I could.
What's the best advice that any of these mentors that you talk about, and obviously many of your former coaches, what's the best piece of advice that you've been given so far?
Stay true to yourself. That's probably the best thing. I know what I'm jumping into. It's not going to be flowers and rainbows. So there's going to be some hard days and hard nights, but like I said, I'm jumping into this thing full force. This is going to be my career path, and man, I'm young, energetic. I'm excited about it, and I think I'm going to bring something to this program. Maybe not this year, but here in the next couple of years, where it's one of the good programs in Memphis.
Well, and that with St. Benedict, they face a really challenging situation with the division they're in and size and everything else. So how can what is the potential of that program, and how do you get it to where you can be competitive with those other teams in that division?
Well, I'll tell you this. Now that my name's out there as head coach, man, I'm not hitting the ground running. I'm trying to get some kids to come over to St. Benedict and love it. When I was here, we had a lot of good athletes. With me, Trey Wilkins, Jordan Wilkins, some other guys like that, Tyler Curry and all them. I'm pitching to them. You can come to St. Benedict and help me flip this program around. And look, if you're a player, coaches are going to find you. I got connections throughout the whole entire college coaching world. So, I mean, if you're a ball player, man, come here and I'm going to teach you the right way to play football. Not saying anybody else is not teaching it, but I'm going to teach you the right way to be a great football player and then be a great man.
Yeah, it's a little different in the private schools, obviously, with what they're able to do and entice some players to come in as far as going to a private school, but you're in the Cordova area, and there is a lot of talent just in that area. A lot of those kids end up going to Cordova High School, but I know they don't say recruiting per se in high school, but there's a lot of good things to offer these young men going to St. Benedict.
Oh, yeah. You're going to come here, and you're going to learn from a good coaching staff. You're going to have great education. Either way, it's going to help you out, be a better person going into your college. Even if you're not trying to play college football, just going there and school-wise and all that, man, it's a great place to be. Just need the players.
So you mentioned you were trying to get to the NFL and COVID. Do you believe that if it wasn't for COVID that you would have been able to get into the NFL?
So I don't like to make excuses, so I wouldn't say all that. I think if it wasn't a COVID year, I definitely would have got a minicamp tryout. Mm-hmm. And once I touched the field, I knew it would have been over with. I know my ability, and I believe in myself. But just not getting that chance to go touch the field and showing people in person what I'm about, it definitely hurt me out.
Yeah, a lot of times it's, move on to the next bunch, right? Move on to the next bunch. It's unfortunate because I thought you were just an incredible player at Memphis, and I thought that you would be in the NFL one day. So I know it's extremely disappointing for you, but I think going right into this now, coaching head first, I think you're absolutely right. You can stay within the game that you love so much because it's. I can't imagine. I've never been in the position you are in, but as an athlete and a big time athlete, and you want to get into the another job. That's outside of the sports realm, and you are just always thinking about football, like you said. It must be hard to go day to day and live a life that way when you're missing something as much as you did. So now that you're having that opportunity to get back into it, I'm sure you're going to be able to enjoy life a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, so that's what I was telling my family the other day. I mean, man, I worked yesterday from 6:30 to 11 o'clock at night, and I'm not tired. I had fun all day talking ball. I was working from 7:30 to 6 in my other job, and it was all right. But at the end of the day, like you said, I'm thinking ball all day. It's not where my heart's at. And just being here, man, it makes me happy. And I'm a firm believer if you're happy, you got nothing else to worry about.
Would the ultimate goal be to be a college coach?
Yes, sir. That was, if I was to jump in the coaching route, that was the route I was going to take. But with this opportunity and now getting here, I mean, this is definitely something I want to do, is flip this program around. And in college coaching, that may come here in the future. Who knows? But right now, my focus is St. Benedict. Have you spoken to Ryan Silverfield yet? Oh, yeah. I've spoken to him, Coach Norvell. I've spoken to all my former coaches. Man, I had to let them know that they're huge parts of the reason why I want to coach. They taught me how it's more than football. It's a real family. Mm-hmm. They molded me as a man I am today. So, man, as them and my mentors, I would love to give that to another kid growing up and show him, man, the way to do life, honestly. What is it about the tight ends? Because Alan Cross also, he's not a head coach, but also coaching here in the area now. So you former tight ends are getting into it. Oh, yeah. Me and Cross are still good buddies. We'll go grab a bite to eat probably once a week. He's also a huge mentor in my life where I've seen him take the route, and I think he's now back in Memphis, so who knows? You had just a stellar career at Memphis, and so many different touchdowns and big catches stand out, but you probably get asked more about the Temple game, right? Oh, yeah, for sure. How often do people still come up to you and say, did you make that catch? It's kind of crazy. I'll be out to eat one night just on a random Wednesday night, and I'll have somebody say, you called it, and I just start laughing. It's crazy, but it definitely still gets drugged on out here. And are you still 100% confident you caught it? Oh, yeah, and they know that too. Temple knows it. Have you do you know any of those guys where you've had conversations since that game and they've said that to you? So actually, somebody trained. Actually, one of our old teammates trained with a guy from Temple, and they got to talking, and they're like, "Man, we all thought he caught it on the sideline." But we had Russo. What was Russo's first name? The quarterback.
for Temple.
Yeah, that's who said it.
Yeah, he was on our show, and he admitted it on our show that you had caught that. So I was like, okay. Oh, I got old eyes now, but my eyes told me that you had caught it as well. So it's a shame that that's the thing a lot of people will remember you for. Joey Magnifico, either the great name that you have, which is one of the great sports names of all time, and the catch that wasn't a catch but really was a catch. And then they forget about all the other stuff that you did. I mean, it was an unbelievable career. And if I'm not mistaken, you started as a walk-on, correct?
Oh, yeah. I came under Fuente, walked on, and then after my first year, he left and Norvell came. And so I had to do the whole walk-on process again for my second year. Starting, actually, I was playing and still walk on. So, I mean, it ain't nothing but a hard work, and that's what I'm saying here. Like, I'm nothing new to hard work. I know what it is, and I'm ready for it.
Did you, coming out, like when you decided to walk on at Memphis, did you have other offers anywhere, or how did that go as far as recruiting for you?
Yeah, and that's another thing I'm preaching to my kids now. So I had a Cincinnati offer coming out of high school. Had to make a certain GPA my last semester of high school, so they kind of got cold feet and took it from me. Then I had Coach Dickey that was here at the time call me. He was recruiting me out of Memphis already. And they kind of knew the same situation. They were like, man, we'd love to have you come walk on. And like I said, my family's from here. I've loved Memphis since I was 3 years old. So it was a no-brainer.
Even though you are so close with Coach Norvell, but obviously with Coach Silverfield as well, and since you played at Memphis, maybe a little pipeline between St. Benedict, if you produce those type of players, and the University of Memphis?
Oh, yeah. Here in a couple of years, I'm going to have players like that are going to be able to go out there and compete and maybe even go high D1. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, listen, it's a fantastic story. Again, I was a little surprised to see that, not that you're getting the opportunity to coach, but again, I thought, man, Joey's going to get a shot one day with the NFL. I still had thought that, but you're right. COVID ravaged a lot of lives and changed a lot of people's directions and which way they go. But I think all good things come out in the end, and being able to stick with football and now coach a team, I think is fantastic, and it's just the beginning for Joey Magnifico. He's the new head coach at St. Benedict. You can follow Joey on Twitter at Joey Magnifico1. Joey, as always, thank you so much, and congratulations.
I appreciate y'all having me on. Thank you.
Take care. How many great Memphis players were walk-ons? I mean, right off the top of my head, Alan Cross was a great tight end. Joey Magnifico was a great tight end. Anthony Miller was a great wide receiver. Anybody else that was a walk-on at the beginning? I don't know. Those are three of the most productive offensive players in the history of the program.
Philip Mayhew was actually also on those teams, and he was a walk-on.
He was a walk-on. And right now, the receiver. Calvin Austin was a walk-on to begin with. My gosh, that's incredible. Is it easier, Gabe, for an offensive player that's a walk-on as opposed to a defensive player, or is it just coincidental?
I really do think that's coincidental. A lot of guys do want to play the offensive side of the ball, though. So I guess you'd have more people coming into that wide receiver room trying to be a skill player as a walk-on. But I think that's coincidental more than anything.
All right. Golf, the situation with Rachel Heck, she will be playing this afternoon. I saw like 3:37. I don't know if that's Central Time, but Rachel shot 4 over yesterday in her first round, so 8 behind the leader at the U.S. Women's Open. Just a freshman, just completed her freshman year, or in the midst of completing her freshman year at Stanford, and is the individual collegiate champion from Stanford in her freshman year. It's been an unbelievable run. And getting to play in the U.S. Women's Open, Rachel Heck, 4 over yesterday, her first round. They're playing out in the Bay Area. And go ahead.
Well, if she doesn't win this, it'll be the first time she's played a tournament that she didn't win in 6 tournaments. She's won her last 5 tournaments she's been in.
That's unbelievable. They're playing in the Olympic Club.
Pretty impressive stuff, considering when you're talking about that being like the NCAA regionals, the NCAA championships, the conference championships, and she wins every one of them.
Except for the team competition, right? You said, all the individuals, but the team, right, lost?
Yeah, they lost their team in the team competition. Yeah. She won her match, but the team lost in the match play.
Well, we certainly wish Rachel well. Rachel Heck, of course, the Memphian, who went to St. Agnes and now a star at Stanford. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56WHBQ.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
At Verizon, we launched the first 5G network. And now, we want to put the power of 5G in the hands of every customer. Trade in your old phone and switch to one of Verizon's best unlimited plans, and you can get a new 5G phone on us. That goes for existing customers, new customers, and businesses. Every customer can now trade in their old broken phone and switch to one of our best unlimited plans and get a new 5G phone on us. Not a Verizon customer? We'll help cover the cost for you to switch. Because everyone should get the 5G they deserve. It's the biggest upgrade ever, happening now. Only from Verizon. 5G Ultra Wideband available only in parts of select cities. 5G nationwide available in 2,700 plus cities. Eligible on Samsung Galaxy S21 5G 128GB and iPhone 12 mini 64GB. Up to $699.99 iPhone or up to $799.99 Android device payment purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on select unlimited plans required. $300 virtual prepaid MasterCard sent within 8 weeks with porting. Less up to $700 iPhone or $800 Android trade-in promo credit applied over 24 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply.
Attention foodies, there's a great new place to eat in a great restored building. South Hall Cafe is now open for breakfast, brunch, and lunch in the former Tobacco Corner. Chef Jesus Ramon is creating classics from scratch with a twist. Enjoy all your favorites, including the best cheese grits in the South, a full bar, an in-house pastry chef, catering, online ordering for curbside or delivery, and a covered patio with live music on the weekends. We're open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekends. South Hall Cafe, corner of Poplar and Mendenhall.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Hunter Goodman joins us at 12:05. We'll play 10 in a row. The game show that has swept the nation at about 12:25, 12:30 or thereabouts. Matt Moore, looks like we're going to have to reschedule Matt because of the phone issue that he had, but we'll try to get him on early next week. Speaking of baseball, like I mentioned, Hunter Goodman at 12:05. You have the regionals going on around the nation, and a lot of regionals going on in this neck of the woods, in this southern portion of the United States, as you have Arkansas, you have Vanderbilt, you have Tennessee, you have Ole Miss and Mississippi State all hosting regionals, also from the SEC, South Carolina, and Florida. So 7 of the 16 regionals being hosted by SEC teams.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good conference representation. And
Ole Miss plays tonight against SEMO?
Yeah, they play tonight against SEMO. We'll have the game here on Sports 56, 6:30, the pregame, 7 o'clock scheduled start. Of course, that was pending a little bit with the first game on that one. But and the pitcher, and this is what people talked about the fact that it was a tough regional draw for Ole Miss.
Right.
The pitcher that SEMO is pitching tonight, Dylan Dodd, is 9-1 on the year. He's got 113 strikeouts and only 13 walks.
Wow.
I was like, my goodness gracious.
Wow.
That's pretty good numbers. That's pretty darn good stuff there. So maybe that's why everybody was talking about this being a tough bracket, that's your number 4 seed. But we'll see. At Ole Miss is not throwing Doug Nikhazy. They're number 1. Mm-hmm. They're saving him. They're going to go with Derek Diamond. Of course, all of their pitchers pitched great in the NCAA or in the SEC tournament last week. So really, the way they pitch there, it doesn't matter who they go with. But they're going with Derek Diamond tonight against SEMO. Arkansas takes on Injit. I like to call them Injit. At 2 o'clock today. Mississippi State has a 2 o'clock game against Samford. Tennessee is playing Wright State at 5 o'clock. And I'm trying to find the Vanderbilt game time here.
Of course, a lot of controversy surrounding that Tennessee regional, as a lot of Vols fans thought that was a little bit tough for the Vols, as good as they are, as high a seed as they are, that's a real competitive, jam-packed regional.
Vandy is a 6 o'clock game, I believe, against Presbyterian.
Okay.
So it's so weird with college baseball because you look at some of these opponents like that you just don't think of in other sports, but like just look at the list of the ones that the SEC teams are playing: SEMO, NJIT, Samford, Wright State, and Presbyterian.
The ones that always surprise me, and you're right, you have these smaller schools, but they obviously have really good baseball programs. But the ones that always surprise me are the smaller schools that are from way up north because of the weather, and you think, who in their right mind is going to want to go play there that's talented? Well, they get enough players. I remember, and I'm not sure if they're any good anymore, but Maine. Maine was always good in baseball. Like, Maine? Really? Now, I know it's beautiful in the summer and early fall, but when you kick off the baseball season and pretty much the entire season, it's not great weather in Maine. And so to be able to get Connecticut, of course, a little bigger school, but Connecticut always produced really good talent and had a real good team. Again, Connecticut, but a little different than Maine. Maine, a smaller school, to be able to get the talent that they got. And again, I'm not sure if they're good anymore.
Yesterday in the Women's College World Series, they're into the World Series portion, pretty incredible upset as James Madison, who was unranked, unseeded, had never been to the Women's College World Series, upset the number 1 team in the country, Oklahoma. And, of course, it's being in Oklahoma City, too. Like, the entire crowd was Oklahoma fans. I think there were like 10 James Madison fans there.
That's incredible.
And they won in extra innings. Girl hit a home run in the top of the 8th inning, and they beat the number 1 team in the country in the first game of the Women's College World Series.
Yeah, I saw that. Go Dukes. That was a shocker, no question about it. Last night in baseball, in minor league baseball, a very scary situation as the Norfolk Tides and the Durham Bulls were going at it. In the 8th inning, Bulls pitcher Tyler Zombro was hit in the head by a line drive. We've seen, unfortunately, a number of these incidents. I'm surprised we don't see more of them as hard as balls are hit right back at the pitcher. Zombro, a 26-year-old reliever for the Tampa Bay Rays affiliate, appeared to be convulsing on the mound before being taken off the field on a stretcher as his teammates looked on. He was transported to Duke University Hospital in Durham, North Carolina. That's a great hospital. He was still in stable condition and undergoing further treatment and observations. Earlier today, the latest came down on Zombro that he remains in stable condition. The updates from overnight have been positive. The team said additional updates would be released when they become available.
Yeah, that's scary, and I don't know that I've ever seen a game just stopped after an incident like that.
What do you mean? What do you mean stop? Stop like for the night?
Yeah.
Right. I haven't either. Obviously, it stopped for the moment, but
yes, obviously.
Well, I didn't know where you were going.
But normally they play around the guy. Why? Yes, I understand. I'm saying that they don't really call the game after that. But that tells you a little bit how scary it was.
Yeah,
it was late in the game and it was a blowout anyway. But yeah, that was that's hopefully he's all right. It's crazy because who's the dude for the Mets that got hit in the face that's already back?
Pilar.
Got hit by the pitch. Dude, that thing is still amazing to me. Either how lucky he is or just how tough he is. It's crazy. Dude got hit square in the nose by a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and he barely missed any time.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's amazing. I don't understand. Guys getting hit in the head. I don't know what the exit velocity of coming off the bat back at the pitcher was.
I did see a lot.
But how do you survive that thing? I know your cranium's pretty hard. We got a hard shell up here, but my gosh, to be able to take a line drive off the head. Could you imagine professional baseball players at any level, especially AAA, Major League Baseball, using aluminum bats like they do in college?
Well, I mean,
there'd be deaths.
They would have to use the deadened version of them, but yeah, no, it would.
Which they wouldn't want to do that because you have dead and aluminum bats. They'd still be knocking home runs out there, but they wouldn't be at that high rate they would be if it was one of those live bats. Did you see? I'm switching gears here, but did you see the photo as the Grizzlies press conference, the season wrap-up thing? It's kind of like the exit interviews, and unfortunately, we can't be asking questions because we're broadcasting our show live here. We're not a part of that, but it started, and we'll give you updates on anything that's interesting if they have anything interesting to say. Normally, they don't. Normally, there's not much that they say. Zach Kleiman, of course, will be asked about the future. Zach Kleiman, who we talked about earlier in the show, getting the contract extension yesterday as the executive VP of basketball ops and as general manager. But I wanted to bring up the photo of the Grizzlies returning home from Utah after they were knocked out. They kind of got a players-only photo on the plane. And they all came together, and somebody took a photo of them. And, some guys are smiling, some guys aren't. And then there's Dylan Brooks holding up a wad of cash. Only Dylan Brooks.
He probably won the card game.
Good thing Tony Allen wasn't on that flight. But I was wondering, and then I said to Gabe, "Oh yeah, they play cards. It's cash only. They're not Venmoing on these card games."
Well, they might, but a lot those guys carry a lot. Those guys can carry a lot of cash around.
Yeah, but a lot of people today don't carry cash.
And also, if there's one guy that I would see just taking everyone for all they're worth on that plane, it would be Dylan Brooks.
It's him, right?
It's not only that, but it's the fact that if you showing off the fact that he's got all the cash. A lot of the other guys, if they did win, aren't going to necessarily in the picture be showing it off. Dylan, 100% going to be showing it off.
Yeah, so I'm trying to. It's tough to tell. Just about. I mean, that's a lot of hundreds there. I do see a 20 at the very end, but
that's from McDermott.
I wonder how much
Killian Tilly put in a $5 bill.
That's funny. I wonder how much that is right there. I've heard that just some of these guys, I'm not talking about the Grizzlies, but just NBA players that play cards on the plane, man, they play for big stakes.
Well, you got to. When you're making $10, $15 million a year, playing a quarter poker game really isn't going to make much difference.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be a quarter, but I mean, that guy's probably got in his hand. What would you say he's got in his hand? It's tough to tell because it seems like it's not spaced out enough. He's not fanning it out enough. He's probably got $5,000 in his hand, right?
I'd have to look at it more. I didn't really look at it that.
I got to see the picture a little closer now.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. I'm just assuming for a second there that it's bunched up a little bit. It doesn't look like it's perfectly fanned out. All right, so some of the comments starting to roll in from the media session. Drew Hill tweeting out, he asked Kleiman about Jaren Jackson Jr.'s return and the potential extension that could come this summer. He praised the return and said Jaren is a massive part of our present and a massive part of our future. Yeah, there's no question because we've had the discussion all week long, and I would say that the good percentage, high percentage of our texters and callers are not so sure about Jaren Jackson Jr. And then we had others who said, come on, leave the guy alone. He's done a good job. He was coming back from injury. We saw what he was able to do before he got hurt. So Jaren Jackson Jr. is absolutely part of the equation. Now, whether or not he'll be the player that we all think he can be and do it on a consistent basis, we don't know. But, yeah, there's no question. Plus, they wouldn't tell you anyway. But I agree. I mean, I believe that statement completely. Jaren is a huge part of this team's present and future.
Yeah, he's
not even a question.
He absolutely has to be. Like, again, they're not. He was a fourth overall draft pick. Like, you have to have those guys become very good for you when you're in these types of markets. Like that, he becomes you really need him to be really, really good if you want to become a really, legitimate championship type contender.
Kleiman said John, Jaren, this is obvious, are the cornerstone of what the Grizzlies are building. Said he's very thankful for the extension with the Grizzlies. The experience overcoming 2 play-in wins and winning a game against Utah was huge for the team. All the things that we expect him to say. And I would imagine he'll be asked, if he hasn't already, about Justice Winslow. And that's the one I'm going to be curious to hear what he says. He won't be giving it away either way. Unless he says, oh, we're absolutely picking it up. But I don't imagine he'll say that. And he's also not going to go the other way, of course, if they decide that they really don't want to pick up that option. He's not going to say that during this meeting. Let's see. He said, just have to have an off season for the guys without restrictions. That's going to be big. Last year, there was only so much growth with the restrictions. But, of course, that's for every single team. And then he said he will work on contractual stuff with Justice Winslow over the summer. He'll work with contractual stuff with Justice Winslow over the summer. You take anything out of that?
No, they'll evaluate and make the decision over the summer.
It almost sounds like, can you offer less? He's got a $13 million team option.
They could decline the option and then still try and re-sign him.
That's what it sounds like it may be. Just from reading into that. I could be completely off on that one. But saying he'll work on contractual stuff with Justice Winslow over the summer. When we come back, hour 3 of the program, our final hour of the day and of the week. We'll have 10 in a row for you at 12:30. But before all of that, Hunter Goodman, the All-American catcher from the Memphis Tigers at 12:05. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hey, I heard that you just got a new car.
Yes, I sure did, and I could not believe how simple it was.
Really? Tell me what happened.
I bought my car at Cars Inc. They are family owned, and the choices of cars were the best I've ever seen. They even said they could price match with anyone and help me with whatever financing I needed.
Wow, it does sound like they know what they are doing.
Their family has been in the car business for over 30 years, and they're excited about being in Memphis.
Where are they?
5095 Cummington Way, and their phone number is 901-623-7180.
With the value of the U.S. dollar continuing to slump due to unprecedented money printing, it has never been more important to protect your savings and retirement accounts from inflation. Many hardworking Americans, just like you and I, are turning to a proven method to protect what we work so hard to earn: Real gold. You can have real gold delivered privately and securely to your home, or have real gold put into your IRA or 401k. Just call Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group will teach you everything you want to know about owning real gold. It's a lot easier than you think. Call the Oxford Gold Group now at 833-928-GOLD to get your free precious metals investment guide. Talk to them about getting real gold and silver delivered to your home, or about having real gold placed in your IRA or 401k. The Oxford Gold Group is here to help you protect your savings and retirement from the unknown. Call them now, 833-928-GOLD. So, what are you waiting for? 833-928-GOLD. Get your gold you can hold from the Oxford Gold Group, 833-928-GOLD.
Action247.com is your Tennessee sportsbook for same-day pay. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Win a little or win a lot. Action247 has same-day pay. The other guys make you wait for your winnings. No more waiting with Action247 same-day pay. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action247. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck, because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Everyone's watching to see what you do. Everyone's looking at you.
Welcome back, everyone. 12:03, the top final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Middays, getting you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Got more comments from Grizzly personnel that we'll get to later on in the hour. We got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. But right now we're very pleased to be joined by the All-American catcher for the Memphis Tigers, Hunter Goodman. Got another All-American notice today from collegiate baseball. That's 2 in 2 days. The accolades will continue to roll in. Second straight year that Hunter's been honored as an All-American. Let me give you some of his numbers before we bring him on. In his 3 years in Memphis, and remember that last year was an abbreviated year, a .323 career batting average with 42 home runs, 149 runs batted in just 128 games. One of the greatest players to ever put on a Memphis Tigers uniform. He is Hunter Goodman, who you can follow on Twitter at HunterGoodman35, and he joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hunter, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing great. Congratulations on the accolades for the All-American teams, and I'm sure more will come in. I know that you're a very modest guy, but you got to feel pretty good about being able to do what you've done in your career at Memphis.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun here in Memphis the last 3 years. I've really enjoyed my time here, and I feel like I've had good success. None of that comes without having good teammates and coaches around you. So,
well, I want to go back and go back to your days in Arlington as far as when you ultimately made the decision to come to Memphis, and we'll do that in just a moment. But just so everybody knows that you will be eligible for the Major League Baseball amateur draft in July. And you told me again, so you're going to wait to see what happens there as far as where you get selected before making that ultimate decision on whether or not to return. But pretty much you're just waiting to see what happens next month, correct?
Yeah, I just want to see what happens, and I'm looking forward to take the next step and continue my career. So I'm really excited about it and excited about the future.
Do you have any indications or idea where you think you'll be drafted?
Right now, I have no clue. With the draft being moved back, nobody really knows right now. So it's just going to be it's going to be a few weeks before all the stuff starts coming in and start knowing more about it.
Who are the people that you talk to, whether it be your family, whether it be Coach Rock? Who are the people that you're leaning on as far as making the ultimate decision?
Well, obviously the family comes first because they're the ones who helped you get there, and they're the ones who have always been there for you and helped you get to where you are. So they're probably the number one people helping me out with this decision and what I'm going to do.
Do you, for the next level, do you believe you'll be a catcher definitely at the next level?
Honestly, I'm not real sure. I think it just depends on which team you go to, because at the end of the day, once you get picked up, you work for them. They're your bosses, basically. So whatever they tell me to play, I'm going to play it and do it to the best of my ability.
Hunter, talk about the challenges that you have faced, and it's not just you, your teammates, and really all collegiate athletes with this last year plus with the COVID. Last year, obviously, the season came to an abrupt end. This year, you had pretty much a full season. I don't think it was the exact games that you would normally play, but it was weird with 4-game conference series, and also the lack of fans being able to be at FedEx Park other than family members to watch you play. So in other words, your 3 years at Memphis, not a lot of people have had a chance to see just how good you are.
Yeah, it was honestly last year it was pretty tough at the beginning when it first happened, and we got sent home and we didn't really know what to do. But at the end of the day, I think it was a blessing for a lot of people. I got to spend a lot of time with family and do a lot of things I normally don't get to do. But it was tough, but I also think it was a blessing on the side. I got to train more. I got to do more. I got to work out all summer. I got to hit all summer and do all those things and get prepared for the next season, which I think really helped me this year with how I played, what I did. So,
yeah. So you kind of answered, but along that line, how were you able to kind of continue to train and work on your game during that summer last year?
So really, I was blessed because my high school coach called me up and said that I could work out and train at our high school anytime we wanted. So I ended up doing that. And we had a group of kids who are Division I players from the area that met up there, and we'd do live at bats. We'd hit together, throw together, work out together. So we did that last summer, which I think really helped with this season.
Going back to your days at Arlington High School, and obviously you put together a prolific career at the prep level. When you were thinking about what you wanted to do for college, obviously there were a lot of schools that were extremely interested in you. Why did you ultimately pick the University of Memphis?
Well, number one, it was just a sense of I thought that I could come in right away and make an impact and get to play every day. I had a lot of buddies go to bigger colleges and not get their chance until their second year, third year. So really that was one of the biggest things. And another big thing was my family could come watch me play whenever they wanted to, which they have my whole career. And then lastly, the coaching staff. I mean, Greeny, I love Greeny as a hitting coach. I love Rock. I love the coaching staff. I chose Memphis over some other schools.
Have you when you were in high school and even younger, have you always been a big power hitter?
Yeah. Since I was little, I've been bigger than most kids and stronger than most kids, and I'm not bigger than a lot of people nowadays. But I just the way I use my swing and I use every part of my body to generate power. I feel like that's helped me throughout my career, and I've always been a power bat. I've never really been a speed guy or a contact guy, but I make contact a lot, so I guess you call me a contact guy too. But yeah.
Do you, because of today's world a bit, are you, when you're working on your game and everything else, is launch angle and things like that things you are focused on?
I don't really focus on the term launch angle. or anything like that, but I do work on hitting the ball in the air because I don't want to hit a lot of ground balls. As a power guy, you don't really want to hit a lot of ground balls because really that's only going to get you a single for the most part. So one of my focuses I try to hit the ball in the air and obviously not hit it straight up in the air, but hit it in the air and work on hitting it at the right height that I want to hit it at.
What do scouts say to you, and what do people in baseball that you have talked in Major League Baseball or professional baseball that you have spoken to over the years? What do they say to you about your game?
I mean, defensively, they've said that I need to work on my defense behind the plate, which I felt like I did a good job of this year. I've gotten a lot better behind the plate, and just cutting down on the strikeouts, which I felt like this year I walked a lot more, and I struck out a similar amount, but I felt like my at-bats were better and my approach was better this year than it has been. So I felt like I cleaned up some of that stuff this year.
Yeah, I can attest to that, calling the games behind the plate. I thought you threw out a nice percentage of runners and called a really good game behind the plate. The other thing, too, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, obviously scouts and them know that, but I mean, you got decent wheels for a catcher, and you've had success stealing bases. Not that you're Ricky Henderson, but obviously that you can run a little bit on the base paths as well. So I don't know if there's a weakness in your game. If there was, what would you say it is?
I'd probably say it's striking out. I mean, I strike out more than most people, but I feel like I'm getting better at it, and I feel like in today's game, everybody's striking out more because all the pitchers are getting better and everything like that. So as long as I'm improving with that, then that's okay if that's the worst part about my game.
Yeah, I was going to say that especially for power hitters in today's game, that's a normal thing. They don't even consider necessarily a bad thing. You mentioned working on your defense behind the plate. What are the things you have to work on to be a better catcher?
So one of the things I work on every day is receiving and blocking. Just trying to keep strikes and work on stealing some strikes and balls just off the plate or just down or just up, trying to steal those pitches and get pitchers more calls. And then just keeping the ball in front when it's in the dirt. Just working on blocking, not giving teams extra bases other than you got to make them earn them instead of just giving them away. So.
Hunter Goodman joining us, Memphis Tigers catcher, getting ready for next month's amateur draft. You can follow him on Twitter at Hunter Goodman35. I know it had to be extremely frustrating, the season you guys had. It was tough, and, of course, then you go in there into the conference tournament and rock East Carolina in Game 1, which I don't know anybody saw that one coming, but you did that. But it was a tough season, and I think you would agree with that. But how do you guys keep your spirits up, and especially you? It seemed like that team never really got down. I think that's, you can attribute that a lot to Rock and the coaching staff as well. But you guys just seem to never get down on yourselves, even though it was a tough season.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody knew about halfway through the year it was a tough season. We had a really tough schedule this year. That's another thing that you got to take into consideration is our schedule is really hard, and everybody knew that. We got a lot of young guys who don't have quite the experience that some of the older guys did. And really it was just the team in general, the bond we had. I mean, that was one of the teams, this year's team was probably one of the closest I've been to a team in my life. Like, just the buddies I made, the people on the team, like we just all loved each other and hung around each other all the time, kept it light, and everybody joking around. So I feel like that's the biggest reason that kept us kind of sane during the season.
So what do you do between now and the draft?
So right now I'm taking like a week off of doing everything, just trying to relax after a long season and catching a lot and doing all that stuff. But after this week, I'll probably get back in. I'm just going to be lifting, hitting, throwing, just working on my game and doing the same things I normally would during the season or in practice or stuff like that. I'm just going to be doing that on my own right now. After
your freshman year, before the pandemic hit, which was your sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you went up to the COD League, right? Did you go to the Wood Bat League?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, and then this past summer, you said you did a lot of working out on your own. They didn't have it, right? It was not available because of the pandemic.
No, the COD League wasn't available.
Okay, so have you had, do you think, enough time in the cages and in the COD League and all that with the wooden bat?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think I've had plenty of time. anytime I'm not at Memphis and we're not in the season, that's all I hit with is wood because you got to get used to it. And personally, I like wood better because honestly, since high school summer ball, all you play with is wood. So ever since then, I've been hitting with wood, and I don't know. For me, it just makes me focus more because I don't want to break one of the bats my dad bought. I don't want to buy any more wood bats, so I got to focus up and make sure I hit it on the barrel, not break that wood. So,
how big of a difference is there between the wood bats and the bats you're using, the aluminum that you're using in college?
I don't think there's a huge difference with the BB wood and regulations now. I think it's just more like when you hit off the sweet spot, I think it's pretty similar. But I think that metal bats give you more room for error. Like you can hit it more towards the end and get base hits and stuff. But like with wood, you got to be more of a perfectionist with where you hit it on the barrel.
Did you grow up a baseball fan? Or did you have a favorite team?
I was just going to ask that. That's wild.
Oh yeah, I've been a Cardinals fan since I was like 3 years old. And, I love the Cardinals. I've been a Cardinals fan, which is weird because my dad's always been a White Sox fan. So I don't know. I just grew up loving the Cardinals. Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina.
Are there other players other than those that played for the Cardinals you just mentioned, and that's two great players? Are there any other players out there that you really enjoy watching their game and kind of try to emulate your game after them?
Yeah, I watch people with similar swings, Jimmy Donaldson and Justin Turner and guys like that. I watch them because I feel like if you're not watching somebody that looks similar to you, it's harder to learn things from them. So I watch them to try and learn stuff that could help me out in my game.
Do you watch a lot of tape?
Yeah, I get on YouTube all the time.
Well, by the way, as a lifelong Cubs fan, I am sorry that you had to become a Cardinals fan. That is unfortunate. And you had to be raised by a Sox fan. That is really unfortunate parts of your life. I'm glad you've been able to overcome that and put together a good baseball career anyway.
That's funny.
I'm good. Listen, if your dad was a Sox fan, I mean, you were destined on a bad path. Cardinal Sox, it really didn't matter.
Easy Cubs fan over here.
Yeah, easy.
Hunter Goodman joining us, Memphis Tigers All-American catcher. You seem, and I know you from on the field. I don't know you personally, but you just seem to be mild-mannered, quiet, modest. Is that the way you truly are?
Yeah, that's how I try to be. I mean, a lot of people use the term of guys big league and other guys, and I don't want to be one of those guys. So.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you're the consummate professional, but you're the consummate teammate because, there were times that you could get frustrated. And let's be honest here, and I know Hunter's not going to talk about this, but it ended up being where some guys really stepped up for Memphis. Ian Loney ended up having a great year. But for the most part, it was tough, and it is tough in general in baseball if you're not getting a lot of support in front of you or behind you. That's well documented. I'm not splitting the atom over here. And you just never seem to get frustrated. That love for your teammates really, really showed.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, those things that the people in front of me and behind me, I can't control anything that those guys do, but I also can't let that stuff affect how I play. I got to play my game, and no matter how everybody else is doing, because at the end of the day, it's a team game, but you got to put together individual performances to win the game. So that's what I tried to do all year, and I was just trying to. Keep everybody light, keep everybody going, because I knew guys had the ability to do it. They were just struggling at the beginning of the year. So,
what's the longest home run you've ever hit?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I hit one of the ones I hit at Wichita this year. It was probably one of my longest, but I don't know the whole metrics about the home runs and stuff. So.
There were times we'd call a game, and I was really shocked that the pitcher would go after you in the situation that it was presented itself in the game. Did you ever get to a point where you come up and go, this guy's not going to – he's going to pitch around me, and then he actually challenged you?
No, honestly, with the way the year was going, I just went up to the plate, and I just – went up to the plate like it was another normal at bat. I was always trying to stay prepared because you never know what's going to happen in college baseball. Teams certain teams handle certain other teams differently. So, like, one team could have just walked me, and then the other team's like, oh, we're going to attack him. So, like, I just went up to the plate expecting to get pitches to hit and expecting to have a good at-bat every at-bat.
So is there a round that is in your head that you think you're going to be picked? Do you have a feeling of where you may be drafted?
No, I'm not sure yet. I'm hoping it's in the top 5 at least is the plan, but there's not really any specifics about it that I know yet. So just staying positive and gonna try and get my work done, and hopefully we'll know here in the next 3 or 4 weeks before the draft.
Well, we wish you nothing but the best, Hunter, whichever way it comes out. Obviously, one day you're going to be playing professional baseball and hopefully in the big leagues one day as well. And whether or not there is a senior year at Memphis or not, we certainly are pulling for you. And we really appreciate you joining us and coming on the program today. Again, congratulations on all the accolades and all the All-American notices that you've been getting here the last couple of days and will continue to get. Thanks so much, and we appreciate you joining us.
All right. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you. That's Hunter Goodman, Memphis Tigers. Again, you're going to wait and see what happens. So he said top 5. You know, the talk for a while there was he's a first rounder, he's a second rounder, but you never know.
Yeah, hitters, it's always weird. And they have to look and see how that translates. But I mean, the numbers and the fact that he hits it the way he does, I would have to believe that he would be at least top 5 round draft pick. I mean, you know, and maybe it's, you know, part of it will be questions about whether he's a catcher at the next level or what he is position-wise at the next level. But man, oh man, the dude can flat out hit. So you would think that would translate. If you are thinking about moving or getting ready to move, you want to make sure you get people to help you that know what they're doing. And the folks at Black Tie Moving are the experts to help you move. And they'll design a plan that suits your budget and suits your needs. And you're not going to pay for a bunch of stuff that you don't need them to do. You let them know what you need them to do. They'll do that. And, again, they'll come up and give you a quote, no obligation quote, exactly what it's going to cost you for your move, whether it's across town, across country, whether you're moving your home, whether you're moving your office. Tuesday, when we were out at TPC Southwood, and I was talking about Black Tie Moving. There was a gentleman there that heard and said, use them to move our office, and they were absolutely outstanding. And you can go online and see all the different 5-star reviews where people say the exact same thing about Black Tie Moving. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau because they are the best at doing it, and they're going to make sure that you have a stress-free move as much as possible. You get your own moving concierge. It's available 24/7 to you to answer any questions that you've got along the way. So give Black Tie Moving a call, 901-316-6196, or you could go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. And again, get a no-obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
I always try to keep 10 in a row topical, and I don't normally tell you the topic before we come back from the break, right before 10 in a row, but I'm going to do that now because I don't think we've ever had or I've ever put together a college baseball question. But that's what it'll be. So get your college baseball knowledge ready to go. In other words, Mr. Google. We'll do 10 in a row when we return, give you a chance to win a great prize package, and then we'll get back to the Grizzlies and their exit interviews as now John Morant's talking and some other players as well. Some more comments from Zach Kleiman and head coach Taylor Jenkins. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio. We are Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. And yes, I'm an awful golfer, but I'm often called Sheldon because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. I recently took my car in for repairs and they wanted me to pay a fee for a diagnosis just to determine what was wrong. And then they could tell me what the cost was. And while I certainly appreciate a cost of doing business, I don't do it that way. When somebody calls me about selling their home, I do my research and meet with them to give them an idea about pricing and what they might do to prepare and present their home in the best possible light to make the most money. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling, call or email me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. You might even hear your home advertised here on the radio. That's Shell Dunn at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now or write it down for later or for a friend. Thank you.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's June and time for our anniversary sale here at Sunrise. Plenty of Buicks and GMCs in stock and coming. Don't see it on my lot? Reserve an incoming unit. Rates as low as 0%. Rebates up to $6,000. And over $11 million in used cars, late model, low mileage vehicles, certified cars, even vehicles under $10,000. We specialize in low payments and less than perfect credit. And check out the grand opening of our all-new truck corral. Over 75 trucks and SUVs in stock. If we don't have it, we'll find it for you. Memphis' only dedicated used truck dealership in the old Hummer building on Highway 64 in Bartlett. We make it fun to buy a car.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It's a cool wet December day when we touch the ground in champagne. Snow was melting on the ground. Yes, I heard the sound of an angel.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's play 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. All you have to do is jump on the phone lines right now at 360-8255, 360-8255. I'll give you the question in a second, but I did give you a hint already that it has to do with college baseball. And what are our great listeners playing for today, Eli?
Today we are going to give away a $25 gift certificate to Sunrise, wonderful breakfast and lunch place on Jefferson. And we're also going to throw in $25 from Central Barbecue.
Went to Central the other day. It was delicious. I haven't been to Sunrise in a while, but it is really, really good. I need to go back to Sunrise. So that's a nice prize package, 360-8255. So here's the question. Schools who have won 2 or more NCAA Division I baseball national titles since 1970. So basically in the last 50 years, schools who have won 2 or more NCAA Division I baseball national titles. Now, I made it a little bit easier for you. Everyone on the list has won at least one. So I didn't give you some weird teams that have never even been to the College World Series. Every one of the 20 teams or schools that I wrote down have won at least one. But the question is, schools who have won 2 or more NCAA Division I baseball national titles in the last 50 years. 360-8255. Did I make that clear enough?
Multiple titles in the last 50 years.
Yep.
360-8255 is the phone number to play 10 in a row. Again, $25 to Sunrise and $25 to Central Barbecue, going to the winner of 10 in a row today. We do have a couple of open lines right now, so you can get in line. But first up is going to be Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys.
All right. Once again, schools who have won multiple NCAA Division I baseball national titles in the last 50 years, since 1970. Oregon State.
Yes.
Florida.
No.
Virginia.
No.
LSU.
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
Wichita State.
No.
Arizona.
No.
360-8255. That was a good run.
That was impressive. I would have said yes on Florida for sure. I would have just assumed Florida had won multiple titles.
Chris sounds like he knows college baseball.
That was very impressive. Doug is next. Hello, Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, how y'all?
Doing great. Okay, schools who have won 2 or more NCAA Division I baseball national titles in the last 50 years. Stanford.
All right.
Stanford.
I'm sorry. Who?
Stanford.
No.
Oh, 360-8255. Dougie, Doug.
Next up is Jack. Hello, Jack.
Jack, how are you?
Hey, guys.
Oregon State.
Yes.
Florida.
No.
Virginia.
Yes.
360-8255 is the phone number to call to play 10 in a row.
Couple of open lines right now to get in line. Bill is next up. Hello, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey.
All right, Stanford.
Yes.
Vanderbilt.
No.
360-8255 is the number. How soon we forget about the doors.
Yeah, so they've won 2 here just very recently. Let's next go to Mario. Hey, Mario.
Super Mario, how are you?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oregon State.
Yes.
Florida.
No.
Virginia.
No.
LSU.
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
Wichita State.
No.
Arizona.
Yes.
Georgia.
No.
UCLA.
No.
Fresno State.
No.
Winner.
Wow.
Good job, Mario.
Congratulations. Very well done. That, to me, was a tough category. I wouldn't have had a clue, but very well done.
There's a lot of lucky guesses.
Hey, sometimes better be lucky than good. You've got yourself $25 from Sunrise and $25 from Central Barbecue coming your way. Hold on, and Gabe will take care of you.
Yeah, that was a good who was it that started it? Was it Chris?
Yes, I believe so.
And so he got a good lead, Mario, but, man, there was no hesitation on Georgia, UCLA, and Fresno State. They all won 1, but not the 2.
If those were guesses by Mario, those were aggressive guesses.
Yeah.
I mean, quick.
Impressive.
Didn't waste any time.
Decisive.
He's only got 2 options. You got to say yes or no.
Well, we didn't get too much of the second list. So, Eli, I know it's tough. Give it a rock. Give it a try here. Stanford.
Yes.
Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Rice.
Ooh. I'll say yes.
That's a no. They won 1. South Carolina.
Yes.
Oklahoma.
No.
Miami of Florida.
Yes.
Arizona State.
Yes.
Coastal Carolina.
No.
Cal State Fullerton.
Ooh, they're always really good. They were. I'm going to say no.
That's a yes.
Ah.
Pepperdine.
No.
That's a no. But again, Pepperdine, Coastal Carolina, Rice, they've all won 1. I didn't put any school on that list or either list that hadn't won at least 1 college baseball national title, of course, College World Series title. And the battle is on with 64 teams starting today.
Yeah, that's one of my, still one of my kind of bucket list things in sports.
Getting to Omaha?
Is going to Omaha. Everybody says that it is just, it's an amazing week up there. It's just so much fun. And I've been to Omaha before. I'm not in a hurry to go back, but everybody says the College World Series is awesome. So that would make it worth it, I guess.
One of the states I've never been to is Nebraska.
just walk out into a cornfield somewhere and just pretend
say I was there?
Just pretend you're there.
Would you sacrifice, because you're not gonna roll into Omaha for a day, right? You're gonna be there for the event, maybe not the whole event, but you're gonna be there for.
No, yeah. I mean, if I was going to go, I'd want to go 2-3 days at least.
Okay,
go enjoy
would you
some multiple games and all that?
Would you use up a vacation week to go to Omaha?
Yeah.
Okay, you would have no problem going 5 days.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who've been there, and they just say even like didn't go there because their team was there or whatever. Just went to it, and they say it's just a lot of fun. It's a great event, especially if you like baseball, and I like baseball. So they say it's just a big old. And it makes sense. It's a big old party with a bunch of college people there and all the different teams represented. And they say it's just a one big old party for a week.
Yeah, I heard it's outstanding. I heard it's a great event, but it is not one. Again, I'm not 25 that I really care to go to. So it's not on my bucket list. I'll tell you one thing that's on my bucket list that's coming up that I could possibly go to is Canton, to go see Isaac Bruce's induction, and then to go over to the Hall of Fame. Because I have not seen the Pro Football Hall of Fame, nor have I been to New York to see the Baseball Hall of Fame at Cooperstown.
Yeah, I've never been to any. The only Hall of Fame I guess I've been to is the college football.
Right, we were there together.
But I've never been to any of the pro. I have been to the Pro Bowling. I went to the Pro Bowling Hall of Fame.
In St. Louis?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was right there by Busch Stadium. It just felt like, okay, I might as well just go over here and check this thing out.
Did they have special areas of it for Marshall Holman and Mark Roth? I used to watch.
I really don't remember anything about the Pro Bowling Hall of Fame. I just know I was there.
Dick Weber, of course. Right? The Webers are from St. Louis, are they not?
I believe so, yes. If I remember correctly.
Actually, I probably could rattle off a lot of pro bowlers. History of pro bowling, the names of pro bowlers. Chris Schenkel, Nelson Burton Jr., I used to watch that all the time, and I bowled in so many leagues when I was young, so something I haven't done in 25 years, I think. But, yeah, bowling's fun. Pro Bowling Hall of Fame in St. Louis, Missouri.
I don't even know if it's still – I assume it's still there. I don't know. It was because it was in that – I don't remember the place, right across from Busch Stadium. I don't know with the new Busch. I don't even know. I have no idea.
Really? Right across from Busch Stadium, and I've never seen it?
It was from the old Busch. It was literally, if you came out the one side, it was like right across the street. That was the Pro Bowling Hall of Fame.
Gabe, do you know if it's still there?
I remember correctly.
I have never been to the Pro Bowling Hall of Fame, and I am from St. Louis, so.
It's where the Keglers go, man. The Keglers.
Let me see here. Pro Bowling
Hall of Fame. But, yeah, I'd love to go to Canton. I mean, Isaac Bruce going in. I'm sure there'll be some Memphis fans that'll be heading up in August. And then I'd love to go to Cooperstown one day as well. I really missed the boat when a bunch of my Phillies greats got in, like Mike Schmidt and Carlton. But, things happen in life.
Bowlingmuseum.com comes up here with a list of all the enshrinees. Yeah, they've got folks from the 2021 class.
Man, I'm telling you, I can rattle off some names, man. Anyway. The Grizzlies, once again, it is their season wrap-up press conference today going on right now. I want to roll through a bunch of quotes. I'm using our friends on Twitter, all the local media, so I won't name every specific person here. Cassie Carlson tweets out that Zach Kleiman said, "We want to bring the first championship to Memphis." Obviously, everybody's going to say that, but that goes back to what you said yesterday, that it's highly unlikely. But the goal is to do that. The goal is to win the championship. Kleiman declines to comment on contractual status of Justice Winslow, but says that he saw positive signs from him. You can do the reading between the lines. That comes from our friend Drew Hill. All right. Let's see. Zach, Ja Morant is a massively clear-cut NBA All-Star next year. Yeah, I mean, he should be, but again, you run into all those Western Conference guards, but he went to another level. When you average over 30 points in a playoff series, you've gone to another level. Let's see what else we have here. Put aside small market and all of those things. Grizzlies are building something in Memphis guys will want to be a part of. There we go. That's Zach Kleiman. And that is what I said. Don't worry about this being a small market because the young, talented team is a draw, but John Morant specifically is a draw. So I think that it's possible to be able to land a decent name. I'm not saying, LeBron James is coming here to play his last few years, but they can get somebody. I don't think there's any question. Kleiman, let's see.
You don't think there's any question they can go recruit to get stars to come here?
I don't think there's any question that they can recruit. I'm not saying there's a plethora of them that would come, but I don't think there's any question that they can use what they've done as a selling point to free agents to come here to Memphis. And that a name or two will certainly give it heavy consideration. I would not be surprised in the next couple of years, again, whatever they have, financially to be able to afford it, that they would have interest in some of these bigger names because of what's being put together in Memphis. I truly believe that. Let's see. Kleiman says having so many back-to-back games, the Grizzlies weren't able to practice the last 2 months of the season, made it harder for player development. But, of course, that's across the board. Every team's going through that. He said Jonas Valanciunas was a monster this year, obviously bankable 20 and 10, but doesn't talk about the long term for him. Let's see. A little bit on the year Kyle Anderson had, which was fantastic. All right. Just strolling through all these. Zach Kleiman, we still love BC, talking about Brandon Clark. He's still very much a part of the future of the Grizzlies. Still feel optimistic about him.
I'm really surprised he didn't say we have given up on him and we're going to get rid of him this offseason.
Be quiet. Taylor Jenkins on Justice Winslow. Challenge when you miss most of the season, but fully integrated with the team and saw flashes. Winslow is hard on himself. Grizzlies are hard on him. That will be his motivation going into the offseason, regaining his best self. Again, that does not say one way or another if he thinks that he'll be a part of the team, but just comments on where he thinks Winslow is right now. John Morant talking to the media on the Grizzlies taking the next step. Need to continue to grow with each other. Been playing for 2 years together. Can see the difference a year can make. I'm never satisfied. I try to work on everything. Then a tweet from you about the Cubs, right in the middle of my tweet line here, on the Cubs Wrigley Field 100% capacity. I thought they'd already gone that route.
No, they were at some random number for no apparent reason.
John Moran on earning respect, TV games that allowed for people to see the Grizzlies and see how talented the team is and how they play. I feel we opened a lot of eyes. I would agree with that. Wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, they don't get a whole lot of exposure on national television, but they did with the play-in and then the playoffs. They were able to a lot of folks got to watch them probably for the first time.
Ja, I honestly don't care what outsiders say about my game. You'll see next season. No, I think we saw this season. We saw in the playoffs what you're capable of doing. Jonas Valanciunas, team had good chemistry in the locker room, helps their play on the floor. It does truly look like a team that cares for one another. And again, we don't know what's going on, especially in the locker room. We're not there, and we're not even there for interviews after games. So you don't get anything. But it just seems that way. The way they act on the bench and are jumping up for each other, I don't know. It seems like there's really good chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of young guys. I mean, when you got all young guys together, generally, I think it's a little easier for them to all get along.
All right, we got a few more of those we'll get to.
The International Bowling Museum, by the way, it's no longer located in St. Louis.
Oh, it's not?
It was in St. Louis until November of 2008, so it hasn't been there for a while. It reopened in Arlington, Texas in 2010. So it's now in Arlington, Texas. That's where you'll find the International Bowling Museum.
I was there for the Cotton Bowl. I could have went to the bowling museum if I had known.
You could have.
Man, what is going on, man?
But you missed out.
Things are slipping, man. Didn't know the Bowling Hall of Fame was in Arlington, Texas, and both you and I didn't know the Belmont was this Saturday. Unfortunately. All right, when we return, got some few lasting nuggets here to wrap up the week. Like I said, we'll have a few more comments from the Grizzlies as they part ways for the season, and then we'll wrap things up with one final thing.
New Life Medical Center is at 9160 Highway 64, online at newlifemedcenters.com. You can give them a call at 213-0100. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturday. I was just by there yesterday, as a matter of fact, at New Life Medical Center. They do primary and urgent care. So if you're feeling ill, feeling sick, you can go by and see them. And you don't need an appointment. You can make an appointment if you want, but you don't have to have an appointment to go see them at New Life Medical Center. They do take walk-ins. But again, if you want to make an appointment, you can call them at 213-0100. Primary and urgent care, plus many other things. Just trying to help people feel their best and keep people healthy. They do have COVID testing available. They do testosterone replacement therapy for the guys out there. They've got some weight loss programs that they do. They treat, again, pretty much whatever's ailing you at New Life Medical Center. Again, 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturday at 9160 Highway 64. It's in the little shopping center there called the Shops at Stonebridge, not far from I-40 on Highway 64. They are New Life Medical Center.
You are listening to Sports 56 Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solution.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
It's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with these hot items for dads and grads. Featuring Ping G425 drivers and the new Ping 2021 putters. And don't miss these hot gifts from Bushnell, like the Tour V5 or the Tour V5 Shift with Pin Seeker technology. Or the Wingman with Bluetooth and audible GPS for distance. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. And shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Well, I'm hot-blooded, check it and see.
love this quote from Jonas Valanciunas. He said, age is just a number. He's 29 years of age. I should be saying that at 59. Age is just a number. He says it matters how you feel. JV says he's comfortable in Memphis, likes what the Grizzlies are doing, and how they play.
Good.
Says he plans on working on shooting this offseason, stepping out maybe more of the three-point variety from Jonas Valanciunas. Now they say Jaren Jackson Jr. is taking over as moderator.
Jaren apparently said that if he was the commissioner for a day, he would add a 4-point line, and if you get fouled, you can either shoot free throws or get one chance at shooting a three.
So the 4-point shot, I almost brought that up yesterday to you during the show.
I think we will. I think there will be a 4-point shot at some point in the NBA.
Well, it's what is it? Ice Cube's. Is it Ice Cube? Yeah, or Ice T? No, Ice Cube. It's the big three, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the 4-point shot, do they not? I think.
Yeah, but they got a couple of spots that you could. Yeah,
I think we could see that, but we don't want this to turn into like just a shooting contest. Although that's what it seems like it is in the NBA now. Who has the most 3-point shooters and the most accurate 3-point shooters?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that at some point there will be a 4-point line introduced into the NBA.
And would you have any issues with it?
No, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have a problem either. Jeff Conine is the new baseball coach at Florida International. Remember Jeff Conine?
Mm-hmm.
Blast from the past. Desmond Bain said he will play in the Summer League.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he will.
Well, if he's saying that, did he have an option of not to play?
I would. I mean,
you would think it'd be mandatory, right?
He's all of those rookies are going to be, I would assume, playing in the Summer League as long as they are healthy. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
So yesterday it was Mike Krzyzewski at a press conference that was somewhat awkward, to say the least. So today, his replacement, or soon to be, John Shire, had a press conference. And so he started out by saying, I don't want to break a tradition here, so do I need to spell my last name? Talking about the reaction when Krzyzewski, I guess, originally got the head coaching position many, many moons ago. Shire was introduced as the 20th men's basketball coach at Duke. I don't understand how this is happening now or why this is happening now when Krzyzewski is planning on coaching this upcoming season. Why would they officially introduce Shire as the coach? Because
he's going to be the coach.
But things can happen. I don't. It's kind of a strange deal here. He said, I've been told many times in the last 48 hours, you're not supposed to be the guy that follows the guy. You're supposed to be the guy that follows the guy that follows the guy. With that said, I am not afraid of it. This is an incredibly unique situation. Coach did mention it yesterday. This is one of the terms of succession and how this is going to work.